Tefty, you're not sharing your webcam.
We're good.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the 33rd episode of the Destiny Community Podcast. We are streaming this on Friday because we were all kind of at the Destiny 2 reveal yesterday.
As in we were 100% there.
But we were always there. Yeah.
Also, I have the wrong headphones on because this podcast is brought to you by Blue Microphones and Headphones.
I got these headphones on. They're comfy as hell.
I can't even
No
see
one
you.
has
You're
the right ones on.
What?
Yeah,
I got mine.
It's fine. Tefty's our spokesperson.
Yeah, I got it.
Let him
My camera's nice and
show
clear.
him the cool headphone. There you go.
Cool.
There you go,
Cool
Tefty. There you go.
We got so much to talk about.
Anything.
I am so
we gotta
excited.
we gotta go.
We gotta jump in there, Patrick. Normally we like shoot the shit. We talk about
There's a whole bunch of
boiled
breeze.
peanuts
It's
and,
already been cleared. We got to jump into it.
you know, we're going. So as soon as
Patrick can
figures
actually
out-
hear us.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh,
I got it.
okay,
I got
great.
it. I got it.
Off
all
to a
right,
good
so
start.
let's start at the beginning. How freaking cool it was to see all you guys in person.
That was awesome.
man.
Yes.
And to
Pretty cool,
finally
I guess. I had to
finally
touch Pope
settle the debate that I am actually in fact taller than Tefty. Finally, I mean,
Actually,
Care to weigh in?
we
Anybody
have
else care to weigh in?
evidence. We have photographic evidence that I am taller.
do you have the photo with you, Pope?
I'll get it.
I
mean,
yeah,
we have many photos that day. My legs.
He has it off at like some shop, and they're photoshopping it to make him even taller.
There was
There's no such-
you see, you forgot to stand on your toes when we took a photograph with Major Sean in the beginning of the day.
Mhm.
And I'm clearly,
stand on my toes.
yeah, I'm clearly
Stand on
taller than you, Pope. I'm so sorry,
What
man.
are you talking about? I wasn't standing on my toes during every photo. That's my legs and calves are killing me today. It wouldn't be at all. So we all got to see each other. The event was very well. Let me paint a picture for those people in chat that weren't there. The event was very well designed. You showed up to this large aircraft hangar. There's a red carpet put out in front, big Destiny banners. People in coats and suits and security, and you check in, you get your badge. They had refreshments outside. They had Red Bull and like Cokes and stuff. It was really nice.
They had gluten-free wraps also inside. Sorry, I digress.
They did.
And-
They
and
had
it was-
vegan and vegan gluten
Yeah.
free. And then
So it was. We haven't gotten inside yet, guys.
Okay,
relax.
I know.
So
we
we-
should
what
talk about the stuff that was inside.
We will get there.
Pope, we picked
Wake
up our
me up.
badges. It was amazing. We saw Destiny 2 on a thing, and we were like, "Oh my god!"
We walked on a red carpet.
We
and then
walked
they
on a
did
red carpet.
presentation.
We got to hug each other.
Yes.
You know,
We took a
There were
picture.
many hugs.
yeah, I actually.
We got to talk about the presentation because they showed us
Yes.
Destiny 2 in that presentation. Everybody, we were sitting in the audience. You guys saw it on the live stream
I
reveal.
was screaming.
I was
It
screaming
was
too.
pretty lit. I mean, there was no point during that presentation where the crowd wasn't absolutely super excited for everything we were seeing.
Yes.
Well, there was one point. But they won us over.
You mean the very end when Eric Hirschberg came out and it's like, oh yeah, we'd like to thank our partners at Sony, and we're all just like,
I was talking
yeah.
about actually the matchmaking presentation.
Okay, so there were two moments then.
But
There were two moments.
So what did they start off? They started off with a trailer showing Zavala's
Yes.
journey from
His origin story.
The prequel.
yeah, story, right?
yeah, Zavala's
which
origin
was-
story was so cool.
It was very cool. I'm sure that'll be a cutscene in the game.
Yeah.
Is it too
but
early to say we saw baby Amanda
Baby Amanda?
looking in the sky like, oh, I want to work on ships when I'm old?
So they had this
It was
really.
beautiful.
I mean, Breyer is painting the picture of I think that opening cinematic, and I need to find it online because I believe it's some of Bungie's best work. To be honest with you, I felt
Definitely.
like the heartstrings pulling. What did you feel? I mean, Breyer. I mean, didn't it just like hit the feels?
Yeah, it totally did. It was it was somewhat emotional just to watch this character that has been standing still for the last 3 years actually get to walk and move around. And I really felt like he was exploring a new world instead of just standing in the tower for 3 years straight.
Also, when he was getting knocked down too, in the origin story, he was like getting the crap beat out of him, and I was like, oh my god!
You got to see Shaq
I was like, Zaval's a bitch right now. This is amazing, and then he like builds the tower.
We got to really see like who these people are, where they came from, the struggle they have to go through to build this safe place where we've all just been like, yeah, we're good. We didn't know anything about them before.
And it was a good indication that we are going to get some more character-driven story in Destiny 2,
yes.
right?
Like,
yes.
Nothing else. It's a signpost. It's a signpost pointing in that direction that they are focusing on story. We are going to learn about these characters that we're kind of hanging out with. And then they showed Luke Smith came out, and then they also showed the first story mission, most of the first story mission, if not all.
No,
and
not all of it.
What's interesting about that is Zavala was back, and you were fighting alongside him.
Yeah,
and Cora came in and she threw a Nova bomb or two for you.
We got to see Kay pop his golden gun and go pow pow.
When those supers popped, the audience freaked out when the supers popped.
Because we've never been able to fight besides like the people that we talk to every day, and like being able to actually see them in their powerful states was such an awesome thing.
And who else here felt like that type of storytelling where you get to fight alongside some of the AI and, felt Halo-esque?
100%. When I saw it, when they showed that mission and even getting to play it, I was like, yes, they are going back to the roots of like the story that they told in Reach was powerful. It was emotional, and it feels like that is back in Destiny. Like, that's very exciting.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like the idea of us getting to have these characters have a persona, like Watt said, alongside us, because everybody knows that that's how those relationships are formed, right? We form relationships with our fire teams, the guardians in our clans, and the people that we play with through adversity, fighting through missions and raids and doing content in the game. And I found it was very difficult. Not only did we not get story about these NPCs really that are in the tower, but we lost out on that opportunity to fight alongside them and build up that shared experience. So opening cinematic, 10 out of 10, just got everybody in the room, excited.
And the way it led into the story also was very exciting. We'll talk more about actually playing through that story because we all got a chance to actually play that mission. And then what was the next thing they showed? It was kind of like this montage of there's all sorts of PvP stuff mixed together with
it was
story
basically
stuff.
Here's the world that you're going to explore. Here's the 4 destinations that we have, which for the record, Earth, Io, there's a moon on Titan.
Nessus.
I can't remember. Nessus and
Titan,
and Titan.
Titan was
So
the
they're all new.
Yep.
Right,
Titan is
Titan
is where the Titans
the
go.
methane
planet. Yeah.
That was so cool. That
It did
was
look cool.
That was
the
very
environment.
cool.
They're all brand
gorgeous.
new, right? So we're getting brand new locations to explore. They specifically mentioned that the European Dead Zone would be twice as big as the largest patrol area of anything we saw in Destiny 1, which I have mixed feelings about, but
so
at
like
least
the
bigger.
original size of the Cosmodrome then before they had to cut it?
Maybe.
About.
Well,
yeah.
I think that we are going to. There's so much to talk about. Like, let's get through the presentation, and then we'll chunk it out into the gameplay and experience and guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, before
we're still
they
on the
showed
presentation.
Before they showed that montage of the gameplay, they had Luke Smith come out, and he obviously revved up the audience. That was great. And he was.
But I think he did it. I'm sorry to interrupt,
no,
Tempty, but I think he did it in a different way, because I feel like we've been and seen a lot of these game directors step out in front at like E3 and at at these big conventions, and it feels like they're like CEOs talking to shareholders at a it feels like it's a formal presentation. And I gotta say this, like, one of the things that I love the most about Luke Smith is that I connected with him on a level that I'm a video game nerd and I love video games. He's a video game nerd and that's how I connected. I trusted my game to him. My trust is with him on that level, right? That he's going to produce a good game because he likes the things that I like, right? That's my connection with him. Right or wrong, that's how I saw him. And what I was worried about is that he was going to get up and do this keynote and become corporate shill,
Mm-hmm.
And what he didn't, and that's what he didn't do. He got up there and nailed it. His quirky personality showed through. He made jokes that like nerds would get, and like the rest of the audience was 50% video game nerds and 50% press that doesn't give a shit about the game really. They just want to report it, right? Yeah. So, and I'm not to be too negative, but like they were there typing on their laptops while we were there going, ah!
Yeah. There was definitely a divide between the.
There
yeah.
was.
Well, I mean, it's their job. It's their job.
It's our job too. Yeah, it's our job too.
I get it. I'm not knocking them down, but definitely they could have been part of the wave. I'm just saying. So Briar Rabbit and I stood up. Anyway, I'm digressing. Sorry. So, but I just want
to play Destiny who helped us get that wave going.
Yeah, we got a wave going, and we're pretty proud. And I was listening to Kotaku's podcast earlier today about it. They have a fan cast that they do, and I know they like the game, but they kind of were talking down. It felt like a little bit about the fans of the show, and they were definitely taking it from their perspective as game reviewers and how they have to stay objective, and I get that. But that event killed it. It started off with Luke Smith showing us that the guy that was at the helm of the ship, him and Mark, are passionate about video games, and that instilled a shitload of confidence in
Absolutely,
me
yeah.
for them.
So, what do we want to move on to? Do we want to talk about the new matchmaking system for raids and clans and all that stuff? Because when they first started talking about that, it was flopping over like a wet noodle.
Yeah, well,
but as they explained it, it actually sounds like a really elegant design for matchmaking. Exactly what it sounds like. Matchmaking people into raids and nightfalls and PvP is essentially what it's going to be. Is if your clan needs like a fifth or a sixth person to jump into a 6-man event or a 4-man event or a 3-man event, you can kind of queue up to an in-game LFG system where other people who want to compete in or join in some events and they don't necessarily have any friends on can also get into, and they'll see your clan, they'll see your title, they'll see your description of your clan, and then they can either accept the request for another player or they can move on to the next one, decline it, and kind of just circle through all the clans that are looking for extra people until they find one they want to join.
Yeah, and it also seemed like it was not required whatsoever to take part of this.
Okay. Okay, just for the record, everyone, Briar is on hotel internet right now, so you might cut out a little bit, Possibly. Which is what he did there. I definitely like the LFG, or not LFG, looking for clan type system.
It's guided games.
That's what it is, games. We're just going to call it guided games because that's what it is, or that's what they're calling it. And it's not something that I've ever seen really done in a game before. WoW had something kind of like it where there was a looking for guild, but it wouldn't like pair you into an activity with them. It would say, hey, it would be like looking for a clan just based on, the little paragraph that they have there. So this gives you a chance to actually play with the people that might become your future friends.
Yeah.
I really like it. I think it was very good in the middle, right? Because it was like, we don't want just straight up matchmaking for a raid because it's not really going to work very well. But I think they picked a perfect in the middle thing where it's like, if you want to play this and you're a solo player, you can, and you're going to play with people who maybe they all know each other and they can bring you into their group. And I think it's going to keep things more positive in general. I think, like they said, it's going to keep it being less toxic is my hope as well. So I think it was a really great in the middle for what they chose to do.
Yeah.
And Emmy, the kind of the guru of social of how we connect in the game at Bungie. She did the presentation on this, and I think during parts of it, she was legitimately like choked up. It felt like she was speaking from the heart. It looked like she was gonna cry, and it was awesome because it showed to me how passionate they are in making sure people's experience isn't just, people getting thrown into a bag and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Right. They're trying to encourage people to have these quality experiences that they're trying to present for us.
And they said they looked at the
she had
data.
A tough job because she had to sell that to everybody in that room, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody in the room wanted to hear what she was saying because they started off with matchmaking in game, and then they had to explain specifically what it was, and nobody wanted to hear it.
They also presented with the fact that the people who hit 400 light level, 50% of them never experience any end game activity. They never experience trials. They never experience a raid, and they said that's really sad. Obviously, they were happy that 50% were able to get that to make it happen, but at the same time, the people who invested enough time to hit 400 light level, 50% of them weren't able to do some of the best activities in the game, and they knew that they needed to fix that. So this is a great stepping stone towards getting people into a group, but hopefully to remove some of that toxicity that can be associated with an LFG. Because one thing, I don't think we mentioned just yet, but with each clan, they can put a motto or a tag or something like that says what they're about. And if they can openly put where we want to help new people and guide people through raids or something like that, they can put that in their clan motto. So when somebody says, I'd like to join up in a raid, and they're looking for a 6, it will pop up. It'll say that's their motto, and then they can accept or decline the invite. It's really cool. In game.
Yeah. And I like the and when we had this conversation about what we would wish matchmaking could be like back 4 months ago, one of the things that I brought up was like the zombie mode from Call of Duty, where you could, you have to accept before you join that group. They didn't just immediately plug you in. And this is even a more, like I said, elegant, but this is even more elegant solution to that. And I like that there's some selection process in that. And I hope that they alluded to, we didn't get any details about this, but they alluded to like special rewards for clans that do this to incentivize clans participating in these guided games. Say you have Rezo's been doing this for years, and I'm sure there's a ton of good clans out there that do this as well. You stack up a team of 5 or 4, and then you go to LFG and you grab people that have never done it before and you bring them in, and it is the best experience. We do it just for the giggles, and just bring them in and show them around and take them through. And once they get into the room with you and they realize, holy crap, I'm in a room full of like gods, that are just like, they've done this raid 100 times and I've never done it before. Oh my God, this is going to be so exciting. Well, this is, so they took that concept and they said, okay, well, we're gonna give rewards for those, and they didn't tell us what those were going to be, but I can envision a clan emblem that is unique to the clan, and every time your clan, 4 or more members of your clan are in a party that help people to the lighthouse or to the to do a raid, you get points towards your clan's total, and then maybe you're awarded that emblem or something if you do X number of them. And I could see this being awesome and amazing to building a really positive community.
Yeah.
Another thing that they announced was the custom clan emblems, which I thought was a really cool idea.
And the banner too. Like, I don't know if you notice where the artifact is currently. It now says clan banner. So that's cool
really cool.
Too. It's really cool. They're integrating it. They're giving rewards to do with it as well. It's just, I'm really happy about all of that. All of that stuff. I was like, yes, on board.
I saw a lot of people commenting, like just on Reddit in the chat as well, about there's still no one's going to want to play with kids and people are still going to get kicked and whatnot. There is no perfect system.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're waiting for, but it's never coming. This is an interesting system that I'm I want to see it get tried, and I know there's going to be a lot of good that comes from it. There's negativity and everything, and if we're just going to focus on that part, then you're never going to be able to build a community or anything. So I'm excited about it. I think we all are. I think we can probably.
I do hope there are some requirements though. Like if you really do only want people with mics, I hope there is a checkbox must have mic, along that line. That's really the only one that I have though.
Yeah, it's pretty important to have a microphone, honestly.
Please have a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they have a few options, that's going to be great. We would like someone with a mic, and we don't want those options of must have Gallahorn, must be we don't want that.
I'm sure people will.
People will probably do it anyway.
People will find a way to do it because the people that care about that are always going to care about that, and they can, they'll form their own community of people that only care about that.
Yeah,
and
then they can stay together.
And their clan tag can be like must have Gallahorn year 1. If not, get out of here. And then it'd be like decline, not accepting that invite.
Well, there you go.
Easy.
They can say it in that little description of their clan. Yeah. Must have Mike, must have Gallahorn, all that stuff.
Must have Axis Part 2 challenge mode emblem and 10 completions.
Must have been able to solo it. Must have been able to
solo it.
During the presentation, they also showed the different way they were treating weapons. There's not a primary, secondary, heavy weapon system anymore. There's basically 2 forms of primary weapons and 1 slot for your power weapons. There's 1 kinetic primary. There's 1
energy
elemental primary.
Energy based
primary. And there's 1 that is power weapon. Anything that can one-shot kill a person or somebody in the Crucible is in that power weapon category now. Mm-hmm. That's causing some waves for sure.
It's fantastic.
It absolutely is. But I personally thought it was a way more dynamic system than we currently have, because like right now in both PvP and PvE, you have very set loadouts. When you go into PvE, it's like, okay, I got a scout rifle and probably a sniper rifle, and then your heavy might change sometimes. PvP, got your hand cannon, you got your sidearm or your icebreaker, yada yada. Everyone's heard the story. At this point, after playing PvP and PvE, you get to change it up a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's basically 2 primaries. You can have a kinetic sidearm and then a elemental sidearm, or scout rifle, and then hand cannon also works in your elemental. I don't know if you can like trade weapons in between them. I'm pretty sure like hand cannon will drop either as kinetic and it'll go into kinetic, and then it'll drop as elemental.
I got a question about that. Like, if you get 1 hand cannon, can it only if you get a hand cannon to drop, does it drop as an elemental?
We don't know.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Or can a hand cannon drop and you can put it in your elemental slot and that enables it to be used elemental?
No, I don't think that.
Or you can put it in your kinetic slot. And
pretty sure it's going to be a drop.
To its elemental.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a drop, because when I was playing, didn't see anything that basically would allow you to swap it, to move it back and forth. For everyone out there, the item system, like managing gear, looked to be about the same. So, we don't know if there's any
inventory differences, because we only had settings and then the main view of our character. Mm-hmm. We had nothing else at all. So that we still have no idea about if they've changed the way the inventory works and how we hold engrams and glimmer and all that stuff. We have no idea.
But one of the things that I thought was really cool is that the slight changes. Obviously, you guys in chat, this is an early build of the game,
a dev build, essentially.
They're going to be level. People were watching the videos and saying it's taking forever to kill somebody. Remember back to the alpha, damage. Numbers are going to be tweaked. This is a early build, so we're looking at major concepts. We're not looking at the numbers that pop up above people's heads, because that's not going to be the same. It just isn't. So one of the things that I thought was cool is in that energy based slot. Supers are going to, there's going to be less heavy, right? There's going to be less of the power weapons. So, but there's going to be these supers, and from what I saw, all the supers that we saw are roaming supers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
even the Fist of Havoc.
Yep.
Yeah. So all of them are roaming. So maybe we're going to that type of super, and to combat that, those those energy-based slot weapons do more damage based on the elemental, super that they are. So, if you see an Ark Titan Striker running at you and you have an Ark energy-based weapon, you're going to melt that guy.
So when I was talking to one of the devs, they said, and maybe this was incorrect, but they said it was any elemental gun will do more damage to a super when they're in their super form.
That's what I'm talking about.
But not if it's Ark in Ark. It didn't have to match elements.
Oh, it's not even.
It didn't have to match elements.
Thank you. I didn't. All I noticed was when I was playing. So once again, these are observations that we've made, and I'll make sure to clarify that. That my observation was that I got more damage based off of, and I was assuming that they were tied to the elemental.
Not. As long as they're in their super, if you use your energy weapon, you'll get a damage buff to that super. Against that super, which I thought was really cool. And
I like that. Yeah.
I like it, but I wish it made more sense.
It'd be really difficult to keep track of that in PvP, honestly.
It doesn't make sense because you're overthinking it. It has elemental. They are in elemental form.
Exactly. Yeah, it's elemental transfer. Right. What I think is amazing is just like Pat said, you can have like a hand cannon or a scout. Or by the way, SMGs are considered a primary, and also sidearms are considered primary now. They're no longer considered special. So it's really interesting. You can have let's say you can have a hand cannon with some range, or have like a high impact scout, and then have an SMG as your alternate. And you might be thinking, well, why would I use SMGs when shotguns are so powerful? Well, they're not going to be prevalent, because whenever you pick up the power weapon ammo, the person pulling it is the only one that gets it. It does not drop for the team, which I thought is brilliant. I know some people are going to be really disappointed that you can't just rock a sniper rifle all the time, but you get like the meta that we've been experiencing for a while now in Destiny, and they need to shift away from that. So the SMGs have a purpose. They can melt really up close and kind of take over that close range, melting a person like a shotgun type of thing, but aren't overpowered.
They're really fun to use too.
Yeah, they're really
fun
to use.
They are really fun. Mm-hmm. I loved hand cannon, submachine gun was like.
It reminds me of the Zalo Supercell and the way it feels, or the one with the sword on the front.
Which one?
Red Death, Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo. It reminds me, the submachine gun class feels that way, like the way you're shooting it.
Yeah, no, it's a very fast rate of fire weapon. Something
inaccurate at range, does very little damage.
Inaccurate. The range fall off in PvP was pretty heavy, but again, all of this is from an early, basically alpha build of the game, so it's all subject to change. One thing that I did like, which Bungie, please keep this in there, was it listed, or like it made full use of the stat bar. They had handling listed, reload listed, stability. Like rate of fire wasn't a bar; it just said rounds per minute.
Yeah,
stuff
it was
like
really
that.
good.
It had impact, and like impact was the full bar. The sniper rifle that some of us got to use, like, was at half impact, and it wasn't able to one shot some of the supers. So, there's that as well. So
that sniper rifle felt good though.
It did.
I'm a little sad. I got to shoot it like 4 times, or like basically 4 shots out of it.
It's hard to use it a lot when you're.
It's not hard. It's not hard to use. I'm talking about like in PvE. I didn't even get to. I think I pulled power ammo maybe once in.
Oh, PvE. I pulled it like a lot.
Oh, I got
a lot of power.
I've been going through your footage. I know you pulled. One thing that I definitely like about PvP was power ammo came up reasonably quickly, but it also told you who picked it up and where.
Yep.
So
that was on the map, which was great.
And once you get used to those callouts of where those things are, and you see that so and so just picked up shotgun ammo or power ammo at this location, like you can make a mental note of that. Like, okay, that guy's going to be coming from this location to the B flag, which is contested right now, and he's going to have sniper rifle or a grenade launcher or something. So you call out that to the rest of your teammates, and you'll just have that. That's cool. Yeah. I like that a lot.
I like it a lot. I think in general, they have moved towards a more tactical PvP experience. You have all the information there for you to make conscious decisions about how you interact in the game with enemies. And I really, really like that. I think it's adding a whole element of everything you do you're making the decision to do it, and you have the info available to make that decision. So I like it.
And one of the things that we got to remember is that we're playing what could be a Trials of Osiris type competitive game mode, right? We're looking at a game mode that is designed to be competitive. This is a equivalent to a search and destroy type game mode. So power ammo and the way that plays out may look very different in like a Clash game mode or something else, right? So we might have the option where power ammo is shared amongst those that are around the brick when it's grabbed in other game modes. We don't know. So, but I do know that the way that this game plays out, one of the complaints that we got is that it looked slow. It is that kind of game mode. There will be other game modes that will be faster.
Yeah.
It's one of the slower game types, and all like shooters, like that kind of game type generally plays out very slowly.
Exactly.
So
the countdown game type, which we got to play, it feels like it's modeled after Counter-Strike.
Very much so. I think they referenced Counter-Strike a couple of times.
Yeah, just the bomb defusal mode in Counter-Strike. For those that haven't watched any videos or whatever, it's basically two teams start out. One is attacking. They have to go plant a bomb, or in this case, a charge at a certain point that never moves. There's 2 points, so you can choose which to go for. Defending team has to defuse the bomb. This is a very not skill intensive, but you need to be able to communicate. So none of us could really communicate. So it was kind of okay. I'm just gonna follow where the pack is going, and okay, they planted at the other place. Well, okay, this will be fun.
It was hard to be super competitive, but it did give me a good feeling for like how the Guardians handled in the Crucible and how the guns handled, and like it was nice to just jump into the Crucible and get a feel for it, and I did like the game mode quite a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, Watts, let me ask you.
Yes.
The heads-up display for this, we saw some of the things like there's a lot more information on the screen, right? What do you think? You're running a stream and you do a lot of PvP, and you're going to have people coming into your stream, and you're going to be talking about how to get better at PvP with them, right? Does the new screen heads-up display help you in that? What kind of information did they show in this build?
So we don't. The biggest thing that is there is you can see your ally supers and your enemy supers top of the screen. You can see what the super is, and you can see when it's ready. Now we don't know if that's going to be for all PvP, but I kind of have a feeling that it is, because when Steve Cotton was talking about all that stuff, he specifically said that you are going to be able to see on your screen what super they have, when their super's ready, all that stuff. So I feel like that could be in every mode. So there's a lot more information there. Now you can't even just look at people and see their super if you don't know how to do that as a new player. Whereas now the information is right there at the top. He has a golden gun, it's ready, and you can figure out how you want to engage with that. Maybe you don't want to be in the open. Maybe you want to sit back a little bit. You see a striker has his Fist of Havoc. You're like, okay, don't want to go into a room.
And it also shows up in the bottom left-hand corner too. Whenever anyone pops a super, it just says so-and-so, uses Dawn Blade.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so they have an active one. Yep. And there's plenty of information for any type of player, as long as they are willing to kind of pay attention. Still on you to pay attention.
It'll take us a while to get used to seeing all that stuff, but there is a lot more.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot more.
And one of the things that I think was really cool is that it also, up in the top left corner, there's where you are on the map. And it establishes, like, it changes depending on what room, and so they're call out locations. And it's in little gray area right about top left corner, and it doesn't really interact with your screen, but it's teaching players how to be good teammates, and I love that, man. I just love it. And so you could be like, I'm down, 2 on me, and then you look up in the top left corner and you give the call out room. I love that, and it just seems like they're giving more information to the player, and teaching us how to be better at PvP.
Yeah.
Talk about the feel a little bit, guys. How did the game feel to you? To me, like, it definitely felt different from what we're used to in Destiny 1.
It felt like So the impression that I got was it's Destiny with better visuals, upgraded experience. It feels like a sequel / reboot. You know, I don't want to say reboot because we still have some of the stuff that we're familiar with, but it's obviously a sequel that they just completely took away a bunch of stuff that we were used to and revamped it with the same feel. And I thought on PS4, we played on PS4 Pro. It was 4K. It played very well. It was smooth. It felt like a better frame rate than we have right now, which makes me wonder if the current Destiny has frame rate jitters that we're just used to, because that strike felt very smooth, even though it was at 30.
There's some big bombastic stuff happening during that too.
There was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was huge. The environment was enormous.
Yep. Yeah. The gameplay felt like Destiny, just with even more polish than there already is. Like, everything felt good to use in both PvE and PvP.
Yeah.
For audio, there's definitely like tons of audio cues everywhere. We had a couple questions in chat about it. I'll have to rewatch my footage to see if I can like hear it in PvP to see if it's changed at all. But in PvE, like there were very large sound cues from bosses now. I didn't even have to look at the boss to know when he did a massive AoE thing that would launch us up in the air. I heard it going, I heard it hit, and I could jump to avoid it without ever having to stop doing what I'm doing.
I can comment on that, Patrick. I was talking to Lars, who works for Bungie and is with the PvP team. And for the first time in Destiny, there is a separate, isolated audio track that doesn't exist in PvE, is only in PvP for those audio cues.
Okay, so good, because
for the first time...
Is that for like footsteps and stuff?
Yeah, for footsteps, for all the little audio cues that we get that help the player know when a person pops a super, when there's certain things that are happening in the environment. There was and I hope I'm quoting him right, but there was a dedicated audio channel that doesn't exist anywhere else in the game. It's only for PvP to help support that type of positioning.
That's good news, because that was really missing from Destiny 1.
Yeah, it's not missing. It's just absent from Destiny 1.
It's like
all the audio channels feel like they're on the exact same one. Yeah. So you're trying to listen for something, and then an environmental thing happens across the map, like a hive ship coming in on Rusted Lands, and that's all you can suddenly hear when you're trying to hear footsteps. So it feels like they are definitely trying to increase the amount of information coming into players. We already saw with the chat logs, sound is going to be a very good other thing. I think some people don't like it. I've always been a fan of it in any game. So, hey.
Well, one of the things that we need to talk about for PvP.
I'll let everybody kind of get their impressions at the feel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it feels like Destiny, which is what I wanted. Like, okay. So I've heard people be like, "Well, it's Destiny." It's like, yeah. What did you expect? It's not like. It's not a new franchise. It is Destiny 2. I didn't want a game that didn't feel like Destiny, because I think Destiny feels amazing. I think the gunplay is amazing. There's a reason that I go back to Destiny from my FPS game and I don't play the other ones. And I've played all the other ones, but they don't get me the way that Destiny does. And it still has that feeling. You're getting more of what you love in Destiny, but you're getting everything that you wanted in terms of the world being bigger and the new subclasses and all that stuff. You're getting what you wanted with Destiny that you liked, and you're getting more of that. And it looks gorgeous. It looks better. Yeah. It feels smoother. So that's how it feels. It feels like Destiny, but smoother and prettier and more to do.
Yeah.
Pope, how did it feel to you?
It felt like a better version of the game we currently have. It felt like Destiny. It felt smooth. It felt like I was playing a Destiny game, and I just got the bombest quality of life update.
Yeah, it definitely, for me, it feels like a sequel. It's like going from Halo to Halo 2, or from like Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2, where like the base and like the general mechanics of the game were there in Destiny 1, and I loved them. But now they've expanded on it. They fixed some of the stuff that I didn't like. There are some differences in the feel. Like your Guardians feel slower now. They just do in PvE and in PvP. The weapons look smaller on screen. I think there is a field of view difference in this game. I think you have a wider field of view. I'm not positive, but it feels like your weapons are a little bit smaller on screen, and you can see. I got
confirmation, Briar. No, it feels that way too, and I brought it up to 3 different Bungie devs that worked on the show floor. I asked them, "Is there any way that the field of view is wider? Because it just feels different." And he's like, "Absolutely not."
Okay, there's something that feels different about that. I don't know what exactly it is. Maybe
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Maybe it is that the Guardians are moving slower, so they stay on your screen more. I don't know. Something about it.
By the way, they took away skating, so that's part of the reason why it felt a little bit slower. Like you can so you can jump once and it will boost you forward a little bit, but you can't jump and get the Titan skate going. So you can use movement to go a little bit faster. It seems like they wanted to keep the ability to do stuff like that in the game, but they didn't want like Titan to be the fastest class, for example. I think it's very much so now. If you want to be the agile, quick class, then you want to play a hunter. Yeah, with the jump down.
Yeah. So can we talk about something that I was kind of disappointed with and that we heard about? PvP wise, there will not be private matches.
Private matches?
Yes. There will not be private matches at launch. And although it is slated, it's in the pipeline. And so that's coming from Bungie directly, is that there won't be private matches, but they're working.
Surprising.
They realize it's important, but they're not. It's just not going to be there at launch.
That's incredibly disappointing to me because, I feel like the community kind of pushed so long to get private matches out, and we finally got it, and as unfortunately it came basically at the end of the game's life cycle, where the only thing that would cause it to stay and the population to stay would just be a new game. So even that feature can't really save it. However, it's been amazing for having PvP tournaments and everything for testing. I was really, really hoping that they would take that very crucial thing and carry that over to launching of Destiny 2. So right when Destiny 2 launches, if competitive PvP is a thing that they would want to do, or that the community would want to do, like using the new clan features that they are putting into the game, we could immediately start growing that PvP community. But, kind of a day late, dollar short, population might fall by the time it comes in, and it could be a repeating story. It's not.
That's somewhat telling, I think, too, about their priorities for PvP.
That's how I feel about Destiny it too. Yep, that's how I feel.
Yeah, which is kind of odd because, I think we said it earlier, but every single PvP game mode is 4v4 now, which is A+ in my eyes, mainly for balancing purposes because it's so much easier to balance classes, gun types, everything if we're all talking about the same game mode size. There will be differences in between each game mode, and then it'll be easier to kind of diagnose what's going wrong instead of, hey, Golden Gun Hunters are getting more kills than 6v6, better nerf the entire class. Or we can't balance special ammo in trials, so better nerf special ammo in all of PvP.
For sure.
It's much more consistent to do that, but it is very, very odd that they go it's kind of a more competitive route by going 4v4 by adding all
also
this really nice game mode features.
Too. Countdown is very competitive.
Yeah, new game mode as well, but then they don't have private matches coming at the start.
Hopefully, it comes with the first DLC.
Yeah, hopefully first DLC because. That's rumored. I'm not sure to be pretty early on
December,
like December time. So it's like, okay, that's 3 months.
Well, let's be realistic and look at something here. We talked about when private matches came into Destiny 1, right? It was towards the end of the game.
Yes.
Now, I'm not making an excuse, but just understanding the development pipeline of a game. They were working on Destiny 2 a long ago, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very
so this is like a battleship in the harbor moving forward. And so they already had the project scope and pipeline and all the teams working on the stuff that they're working on. And private matches clip in, towards the end of Destiny 1, but that's got to be halfway through the development cycle of D2 at that point.
I hear you on that, Pope.
I understand your point there, Pope, but I don't care.
Well, no, honestly, here's what it is. Here's what it is. I know. I think from what they've shown us and what we've heard confirmed, which is another topic that we need to get to, the dedicated server situation, but this ties in directly with this. There's not going to be any dedicated servers for any platform, neither PC.
No.
And no dedicated servers, 30 FPS on console, and now no private matches at launch. I think that what they're saying is that this is a PvE focused game first, and that's what you should care about right now. And when you get into the PvP side, they're not trying to make it an esport, because they have to have private matches if they're going to go down an esport path. You know, the whole reason why we wanted private matches so aggressively was because there was these great tournaments that were going on during a decent meta that we enjoyed playing. And then the meta shifted and they finally introduced private matches, and we're like, okay. And then the tournaments kept on going and they can easily run them. Now, if people do want to run a tournament a month after Destiny 2 launches, they're going to have to go back to the system where they try to match each other in matchmaking, which is really archaic.
Assuming the matchmaking is the same and we can still try to do that.
Assuming the matchmaking is the same, yeah, which obviously, hopefully we want that to be.
Hopefully it's not.
Yeah, we want it to be better than what it is right now, because we put up for it for 3 years at this point, and we've all got our complaints about it. So what they tell me through this marketing and what they're discussing and confirming is that it is a PvE focused game with a lot of PvE content, and the PvP side that we got to play is extremely fun, but it is not going to be an esport anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: you in that event center yesterday, as the day wore on, there were more people standing there playing PvP, and the line stayed active for PvP.
Yeah.
The PlayStations that were doing the story mission, they emptied out. You could just walk up to them and start playing. The ones that were doing the strike, again, they emptied out. You could just walk up to them and start playing. But there was a wait all day to play PvP.
Oh yeah.
All day wanted to play PvP. So,
but
you might want to look at just that.
But here's the thing, though, Briar. Here's the thing. That was just there was one campaign mission and one strike. And you don't get to make a character. You know the stuff.
But how do you play Destiny, Theft? I mean,
the way I play Destiny,
the story, and then you go through the raid, and then you start playing PvP for the next.
No, it's the loot.
But one thing we are going to have is we're going to have dungeons. We're going to have treasure maps. We're going to have the new patrol things. We're going to be able to see public events on our map and go directly to them. Like, there's a lot more PvE that is being added. I'm surprised that private matches are not going to be there. I would forgive them and be like, okay, if it comes with custom games when it comes out, where you can actually fully change things. I'm like, okay, you wanted to get the game out there, work on the custom games, and then put it out. Yeah. Then okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to say, Briar, like the reason why you're not going to want to sit and play a strike at that event multiple times is because it's not your character. That's not your weapons.
That's true.
You didn't make
and
that
character
from the beginning.
Loot,
yeah, you're not getting loot. Like,
and you've done it once.
Yeah, you've done it once on a character that you're never going to get to see again. Of course, you're not going to want to play it again. You know. And just like Watt said, all those additional PvE things that they're adding is really what we're going to care about when it comes to the loot hunt. Like, Destiny is a loot grind and hunt. That's what we play it a lot.
Can we talk about that strike a little bit? The strike was pretty good.
We should.
I really enjoyed it.
Let's talk about everything.
Everything.
I generally am not a huge fan of strikes, and I played that strike and was like, wow, I had a blast. The areas were expansive and fun to play in. There was, huge. So many enemies just all the time, nonstop. There wasn't any time where I was like, oh my God, can I get through this portion already? It was very fun. It was a very fun thing.
Yeah.
As a fire team in Destiny, oftentimes you feel like you're all condensed into one room and shooting out, right?
Right.
In this strike, it felt like we were spread out and we were moving together, but like we're all kind of doing our own thing. We couldn't communicate either. That was a bit of a problem, but it's like we all were doing our own thing. We're moving forward. We're shooting enemies. Like, there was just room for us to be a guardian, right? Instead of just kind of sitting in one room being sniped at by hobgoblins or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to run away from a big spiky thing.
earth drill thing machine that was like moving its arms. That was cool, man. That was huge.
So let's do some comparisons. It killed me a lot.
It wiped us. We got to play as a team, and it wiped us. Remember?
Yeah. Let's do some comparison. Did that strike feel dramatically different than, or did it feel different? Not even dramatically. Did it feel different than Destiny 1 strike?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that I had no idea what was going on story-wise in the strike, but to be fair, we were just said, here's the strike. We don't know if there was like story leading up to it, leading after it. We don't know.
It probably is.
So in that way, it felt like Destiny 1. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, in that way, absolutely felt like Destiny 1. There was like a character we didn't know about talking to us about something, and we were like, okay, that's fine, I guess.
Let's go do that.
Okay, just doing that. I definitely liked the overall length of the strike. Like it felt like I was more going through a world instead of going through a series of tunnels and stuff.
Right.
That was just built for this one specific thing. It felt like, if I wasn't following the waypoints, I could just go off and go start exploring for the most part. There was one particular section where we basically go through this area that looked like it got bombed out by a bunch of stuff. So there were craters everywhere. I followed the checkpoint, but I just vividly remember going, man, if I look off to the left and the right, that seems to go on for a really long time. Like I kind of want to go.
I'm sure it uses the patrol space.
It's in some way. I feel like it definitely does. We didn't enter like a darkness zone until quite a ways in, if I recall.
Yeah.
The boss, as far as whatever difficulty we were on, was fairly simple. There's a bunch of ads to kill. As far as mechanics, spoiler alert for mechanics for this one strike. Please turn off the podcast for the next 30 seconds. Like there was an AoE attack that he would do that would launch you up into the air. There was he would put pools of crap on the ground during the later stages of the fight.
The ground is lava.
Ground is lava, but it was basically just don't stand on it, so just jump up into the air and you're fine. There was,
or just be a warlock.
You started out really high in the air, and then you would slowly, you basically go down because he would keep getting rid of the current level until you're basically in the bottom layer of the area. It was an interesting strike. It wasn't particularly challenging to me. The only thing that made it challenging was the fact that we're basically with underpowered characters in a so the boss itself felt a little bit tanky, but that also could be because they haven't tuned his health and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
And again, no engrams were dropping when we were playing this, so we couldn't experience what it would be like to be in the middle of leveling a character or anything like that. Like that part of the game, we have no idea about. This is purely how Destiny 2 is feeling right now. The overall feel of mechanics.
The overall world though felt amazing. Like launching past that's a river of Vex milk, and we're like, they just referenced Guardian Radio. Okay, there it goes. And there's like literally a waterfall of Vex milk. Crap going over there.
It's a little gross.
It's a little disgusting.
Are they manufacturing or relieving?
Yeah, and you end where all of that kind of starts congealing at the bottom of the place.
I gotta say though, like the environment felt huge. It felt graphic, much more detailed than anything we've seen. The story mission that we played even more so, but the strike felt like. It felt more colorful. It felt more vivid. It felt bigger. It felt like there were just huge moving pieces around, like that you just had to keep your eye on or be aware of. Like it definitely felt like the next step in strike progression for sure.
Yeah. The world that we happened to be on, I just want to quickly say, you will never be able to unsee this, but No Man's Sky. That first section when you load in, No Man's Sky. Just the red plants.
The red plans. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
This is No Man's Sky. All right. And then as you progressed in, it was fine.
So one of the things that I'm hopeful for. So they talked a lot about the different during the presentation. They talked about, since we're on to PvE, different types of PvE activities. We know about raids, right? We know about strikes. We know about story missions. We're hoping we're getting more, expansive stories. We hope we're getting more complicated strikes that have boss fights in them, that are multi-stage. We hope that we're getting raids that are this, that. one of the things they talked about that I really want to spend some time on is those open spaces and what do side missions and dungeons look like. We didn't get to see any of those.
No.
But I'm hoping that this is where Destiny 2 pulls away and gives us that game that we were promised at the beginning, where when we saw something, see that mountain out in the distance? You can go there.
Yep.
I want that to come to fruition, and I'm hoping that this. I'm sorry. What do you guys think of that open space, and what do we want to see?
Well, so
it's my God.
So this is the dividing line between what we got to see at this event and what's coming, hopefully, in E3. Basically, this event was Destiny, and here's the things that we refined in Destiny to bring that. Now, the future, what we're all excited about, just like you said, this open world. I want to see. I want to be able to fly around or not necessarily fly around, but choose different landing locations, which I think Luke Smith said you can choose different landing locations in the map. And they were talking about how you find outposts and then you discover an NPC and then you go get like a treasure map. And then that treasure map leads to a dungeon. And the dungeon, I don't know, maybe it's a piece of component for something you're crafting. Like that stuff makes me so excited because
I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
I am more excited probably about that than like anything, just because that's what I wanted from the Destiny Patrol areas originally. I wanted to go out there and be like, okay, I want to go and spend, 3 hours exploring this area.
Yep.
Maybe I have a podcast on it
and be rewarded
background
for it.
And right, and find awesome loot and go find a treasure map and be like, oh man, wonder what's gonna be the treasure at the end of this. Like that is what I've always wanted Destiny to be, and I'm so excited that it could be what we want. I'm a little scared that it's gonna fall short of what we want. Like we're gonna get there and it's gonna be like 10 spin metal and 2,000 glimmer from the treasure map.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's gonna be components for weapons or a blueprint or something.
Yeah.
We saw the weapons have mods, or they have a slot for mods at least. Really? So hopefully, did you see the
one weapon said no mod slot attached or something like that?
It did.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Where was that shown? Is it like one of the little
I don't remember which character it was.
Flashed up on screen? No,
it was during the test build. One of the characters had a weapon on it. You moused over it, and it said in there, no mod attached for the secondary perk slot.
I'll have to go look at all the weapons and go see which one that was.
Yeah, which was very interesting. We couldn't inspect the details of the weapons, like you had pointed that out.
We couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't.
So we can't see what that looks like. I'm expecting it to look different since our skill tree our skill trees had a heavy makeover from what they look like in D1. I'm expecting weapons to have a heavy makeover too, from what they look like. Yeah.
One thing I did want to ask you guys is, so when you go into like Dawnblade, for example, and you have like the attunement of Sky or whatever, and then you have the other one. Do you think that in expansions they could add different attunements for that subclass? Because I think that would be really cool. There's a lot of space to do it.
Yeah.
Like they have a ton of space over there to do it.
Let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about what that is, because we haven't talked about it.
That's true. We haven't gone over.
So, Watts, what is a class? Or Patrick, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was getting ready to segue.
Getting ready to explain it.
I was talking about that on the Warlock video I did, where it's like, okay, there's this is attuned for Sky something for Warlocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of the abilities focused on like in-air dodging was the bottom thing. When you're in the air, you can glide down and still throw grenades and shoot without actually, dropping your glide. The top one that we all got to use had Angel of Light, had like a descending thing. So it was very much a skill tree that was focused on messing around with being in the air as a Warlock. So I could definitely see them adding attunement for something else, and then maybe that unlocking, a bunch of other little quadrants that you could go upgrade, and it would be more attuned towards maybe burning things, since it is a solar-based subclass. More offensive, maybe more supportive ones, where it focuses on modifying your circle ability, where you could heal people, you got an overshield in it. There's a lot of possibilities with this attunement thing, if that's the way that they actually go with it. Yeah. For now, we have no idea, really.
The skill tree, it wasn't like rows with, columns.
It rows and columns.
Like rows with columns. Like, we don't know how you unlock it yet, but right now it's like, you kind of got like the center, and then you got this offshoot and this offshoot and this offshoot. So it almost looks like a skill grid on like a RPG, like a Final Fantasy or something.
Yeah.
So
it
there's
does.
plenty of room, like Patrick is saying, that you could just add another, little tree off the side if you wanted to adjust that in some way.
That'd be so cool.
It was very different looking.
It felt like
more than just this row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like it was doing something that I really wanted, which was giving the opportunity for support players to build support classes. Some of the things that I saw were really awesome. Like they were taking what used to be a PvP centered subclass like the gunslinger, and you can set up on your gunslinger's class the ability to be helpful in PvE. I mean, it's amazing. They had your throwing knife will explode and create area effect damage.
That's only instant. That's only helping because I allow it to. I just want my throwing knife to explode.
They had one where precision kills with golden gun created orbs for your allies, and precision kills.
Not even kills, just hits. Precision
hits.
Yeah, you didn't.
And then the precision hit as well, keeps the golden gun going. So against a boss, that would be really cool.
And all you got to do is do damage, and so you're producing an orb every time you're doing damage. So you don't you as a gunslinger, you're actually you could conceivably produce max orbs for your teammates, whereas before you were a useless piece of. Never mind.
I make no.
You did not. You made like 3 orbs that entire strike.
No.
That entire raid. And
I am under no illusions that I am being helpful. I specifically spec gunslinger just to frustrate you.
And it does. I mean,
clearly it's working.
It's working.
Right.
Anyway, I'm happy to see them look at each class and say, look, these people want to play this class in PvE and be a support player, or they want to be aggressive, and it just really feels like we have a lot more customization of our classes.
It feels that way, and I hope it ends up being that way once we've had a month with it, because right now we don't know. We don't know the ins and outs. There might be a set build that is like the go-to, and I hope we kind of move away from that so there's a lot of variety when it comes to both PvE and PvP for this stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you're a hunter, you go to Nessus, you find a map to treasure. On that map, there's a new attunement for your subclass.
That would be cool.
That would be
take my money.
So cool. Can you imagine going into a dungeon and completing it and then being like, here's a new attunement. You've learned a new way to be a hunter.
Love it. Yeah. That stuff is exciting.
You know what other treasure you might find, because we're at the halfway point of the podcast? These wild mics and headphones. I don't know if you can get them from Treasure Maps, but you can get them from BlueMic.com. Blue's award-winning products are the driving force behind professional musicians, internet creators, and countless elite gaming teams and Twitch streamers. Their Yeti USB mic is the internet's most popular microphone, and their MoFi and Lola headphones deliver insane sound and a very personalized fit. Blue offers everything you need to completely immerse yourself in the ultimate gameplay experience. Learn more about Blue at BlueMic.com. All right. So anyway, back to the.
We also got a chance to play the first story mission, which everybody got to see. It was in the big presentation. We got a chance to play that, and I got to say, I was really impressed by that. The thing was,
it's what we wanted from story missions, right?
Yeah.
I remember people asking.
You start off and you're basically fighting aside Zavala, and it's so cool to be there with Zavala.
Yep.
It was an early build. I'm hoping that Zavala's going to move around a little bit or shoot at the enemies a couple times, because he basically stands still until he pops a super. But it was really cool just seeing him there fighting next to you. There was so much going on too. As the tower is being destroyed, there's fire and there's shit raining down on you from the sky, and just like so much going on. And then you move on, and all of a sudden this Nova bomb comes out of nowhere and blows up all these enemies. And you see Akora, spouting hate at the Cabal and blowing up a ship. It was really fun.
One of the things that I asked one of the Bungie guys that was there is this is the first mission. Are we going to see, a tutorial? Where are we, new players are going to come in. How are they going to acclimate to the world? And I guess I was told there was going to be a earlier part, like a tutorial piece that we didn't play, we didn't see, and as an experienced player, you can choose to bypass.
Oh,
so
interesting.
So we didn't get to see. That's just a piece of the first mission.
That's
cool. We didn't get to see it in completion, and then experienced players don't have to go through like, oh, this is how you ADS, or this is.
Yeah, there's also 3 cutscenes in that. Like in one mission, there's 3 cutscenes.
A lot of things going on.
That's impressive, right? I mean, there was more cutscenes in that than there was. Well, I mean, it felt like more story was told in that mission than there was in Vanilla Destiny for us with the cutscene.
No, seriously.
Right?
Like, even just like the whole of Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I get to hear all these characters talking. I know what they're doing. I know what they're thinking. I know why they do what they do. I get to fight next to them. It was everything that we wanted.
Yeah.
That's a big change, too, Watts. Gaul has character. He has motivation.
He's was not something
just a
that
bad
was
dude doing bad things. Like he has a goal and a purpose, and that's going to set things off. Like we saw in that story mission that the speaker is missing. Well, where is he? You know,
maybe
like
Gary has him.
Did he steal the speaker? Oh, it makes sense actually.
That's something.
Yeah,
we saw the ship take off, right?
Right. I think
that's something that I'm so excited about.
We saw one of their ships leave.
Maybe.
I'm super excited about the whole Gary thing, though, because when I saw the Red Legion attacking my tower, I was like, I want to kill these guys.
But
and I've not had that feeling before.
Yeah.
Really.
The fact that his motivation is literally to steal our light is it gives you a little bit of a chill. Be like, he's coming for the thing that makes us powerful. Like that's way more than just I'm here to kill you. Get out of my way.
Yeah, but it's more than that.
Production as well at the end of the mission that is pretty ominous and pretty cool. You know, like he speaks English and he talks. And
can we talk about his voice? Oh my God. When I heard him talk, I was like, wow, that's the coolest sounding dude I've ever heard.
Seriously. Yep.
It's going to be cool to see how we transition from the tower being destroyed to where the next play from there is. They talk about the Vanguard, so there's some spoilers here, right? So if people don't
let's try not to spoil as much as we can, I guess.
So we're going to be going, there's going to be a reason why we go to these planets. Yeah. And I think that's where we're going to get these subclasses. We got to play the Dawn Caller, and I'm going to, Briar, I know you already know this since you're a day one Warlock main. But I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go out there and say that Warlock class, man,
it's fun.
I might consider playing a Warlock because that thing was fun. The
super has 2 really awesome things. You throw a sword, which kind of spins in the air as it goes, or you can do a Fist of Havoc almost kind of animation and just pound the ground. You're got the fiery Sunsinger thing going on. It's really fun to use.
Yeah. It's really cool. But Pope, what about when you see that Captain America Titan and you get to play him? You're gonna be like, okay, I think I want to throw shields at people.
Right? And the way it bounces between the enemies,
it's so cool.
It was very
I'm just gonna let the Warlock, excitement filter in. But I'm sure when I play the Titan, I'm gonna be like, Warlock. But right now, that Warlock getting up in the air and just slinging,
it's really fun.
Angel of Light feels so good. And one of the things that I thought was really cool is how your class, like the better, there's some skill level in there. You can go up there and you can aim down sight, and Angel of Light lets you hang, right? Well, if you don't hit anything, if you're not accurate, right, you'll drop off. But if you're up and you ADS and you aimed at, and you hit precision shots, your Angel of Light lasts longer. So, I mean, these are kind of like little, pieces of these nuances to these character builds that I think make it a skill gap, right? Make that skill gap on how that player uses that character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Love the Warlock. Tons of fun.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna love it.
Didn't it? Didn't the jump feel better?
The jump felt better, man. It didn't feel so.
It did feel better.
Floofy. Yeah, they definitely improved the jump. It's the same idea for a jump, but it feels better.
Feels better.
Feels better.
Yeah, feels good, man. Yeah, and no res, right? At least we didn't see it. We didn't see a self-res on there.
No.
Well,
And
that could be in like another version of Dawnblade. Like it could be a different attunement. Like, easy mode would be the attunement. Right.
Basic
easy mode.
Selfish res is the name of it.
Yeah.
Selfish res. I like it.
And during that attunement, you could also, like, during that same mission where you get the attunement, you also discover fusion grenades, right? So
hey, I got stuck by a fusion nade and it didn't kill me.
It does. It
don't kill you.
Yeah, it burnt. It burnt me though, and then I died from the burn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it did not instant kill me. So if I'm
but could you throw down your healing pool and like regen? Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
you can outplay it. There's a way to actually play around it. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. This isn't Destiny. This is a new game.
This is super
fun. New subclass. That was the only new subclass we got to play, but I did really like the redesigned subclasses too.
Yeah, those were good. They were all reworked, so it's like, okay. It feels like you're playing something new. Yeah, like when I popped Golden Gun for the first time, I took 3 shots and I'm like, wait,
there's more.
I still have another one. Okay, let me take a 4th one. Oh, it ran out. How many can I shoot? And then finally, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that is okay.
Well, you can set up your gun. You can set up your Golden Gun to be like the last word, right? Yep. Where and as you're getting hits, it lasts longer. Mm-hmm. So you come, like if you're in PvE again and you set it up like that, and you're going to come up against a big boss guy, you can get it and keep hitting crits, or you keep getting hits. Your Golden Gun's going to keep firing.
Yeah.
And so you're now effectively making that Golden Gun PvE viable again. So
I don't really care about that. I just think Golden Gun's awesome. But I think we should talk about one particular elephant in the room that we have been slowly meandering towards. The 60 FPS versus 30 FPS
debacle.
I've never talked about it before. I don't know what you're talking about.
We've never mentioned that on the podcast at all.
I haven't heard anyone talk about it either. I don't.
The game is running at 30 frames per second on the PlayStation Pro.
Yes. And it's confirmed.
4K.
It's confirmed to be 30.
Tefty, you asked Irk, right?
Yeah, Irk told me that on all consoles.
All consoles, it's going to be locked to 30. Yep. So it doesn't matter if you drop it down to 1080. So the way this place was set up is like this huge room was all PlayStations playing strikes, missions, and PvP.
PlayStation
Pro on 4K TV.
Yes.
Then you turn a corner, and that's where the PC area was. And when you turn that corner, there was literally all day a group of people just saying, "Damn, that looks a lot better." Like all day. It's like
all day I heard
dudes just being like, "Yeah, that looks way better."
I wasn't considering main and PC, but now I might.
Yeah. They had really high-end hardware in there. They were running high-end, brand new Intel i7 processors, the 7700K, with brand new GTX 1080 Ti graphics cards. So I mean, we're talking $2,000.
Brand new, the brand new.
Yeah, and they said that it was running at medium settings too. Wasn't that the room? Was that a rumor, or did we get that?
No, that was confirmed.
That was confirmed.
That was confirmed. So it's running at medium settings to get a higher frame rate. So it wasn't even running ultra. It looked fantastic.
It's beautiful.
I got to
oh my god, it looks gorgeous.
I got to play a lot of it, and it plays much better too. I got to say, like, it is a better version of the game, hands down.
It's a different version, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels incredible. Like when I played at both PvP and also
butter.
When I put both of them, both the campaign and the PvP side, it was like a new version of Destiny that just got me super excited, absolutely excited. Playing the console, it's like an upgraded version of what we have right now. Going to PC, whoa, this is a new Destiny. And if you have both in front of you to go looking back and forth, then you're definitely going to have that feeling of like, oh man, I need to buy a PC. This feels bad. But if you only see
them back to back,
yeah, that's rough. But if you only have the console version, it's going to be okay. You're going to love the console version. You're going to have a great time with it. nobody should tell you that you have to get PC in order to be in the club that says it's going to be the best version.
No
or something.
one. Yeah. That's one thing that I really want to kind of set straight for a lot of people is that Destiny 2 on PS4 was amazing.
Yep.
It looked amazing. It feels fluid. It's beautiful. The handling on
4K.
everything is great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 4K.
4K.
It's super fun. Like, if you are sitting here like, oh my God, how can I afford this to get 60 FPS? You shouldn't really care that much. A lot of the competitive guys are caring a lot about 60 FPS. And that kind of makes sense. But like, you're going to enjoy the story and all that stuff just as much on a PS4. It's not like you're getting content cut on a PS4. You're getting the same game. You're just not getting 60 FPS. And I totally get why people would want to play on PC if you have a PC. But if you're one of those guys that you have a console, you can't afford a PC, don't freak out about like.
Especially if you've been playing Destiny with your clan on the PS4 or the Xbox for the last 3 years. That's where your friends are. That's where you're gonna have the most fun. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it still looks good.
Still looks good.
Don't think that it looks crappy. It is not a crappy looking game on console.
And I know you didn't mean this, Watts, but ironically, it's the opposite. On PlayStation 4, you will be getting. I guess we're assuming it's backed by PlayStation, and you're gonna get actually content that they're not gonna get. We haven't talked about this yet because it was also let go that the PC is going to be released later.
Yeah, they're getting pushed. The day is getting pushed. They want to make sure that it's a proper release, that it's legit day one. It's going to have all the bells and whistles, like different ratios.
That's what they're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, different ratios. Whether it's going to be windowless or borderless type of full screen, all that stuff. They're going to have everything in there that a PC player would like. So,
do we have an actual source for that?
That was in the.
Pretty sure Luke Smith said
that was in the PC Gamer interview from the developer.
Okay.
Yeah, from Shaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't find any like attributed source, but
he said that they're legitimately making a version that is not going to feel like a port at all. It's going to be built with PC in mind and Vicarious Vicious. Is it Vicarious?
Vicarious Visions.
Vicarious Visions. That's what it is. They've been working hand in hand and doing a great job with them. And I got to say, after playing the PC version, I was like, this is fantastic. I can't wait to get. Yeah. I can't wait to load up Battle.net and link up a copy because it's incredible.
Yeah, so
that is representative of what the final product is going to be.
We're in good hands.
Like you don't have to
Patrick, talk to us about Battle.net.
And it's with your hardware too, because like if that's running medium settings to achieve high frame rates on a 1080 Ti, in next year when you get the 1180 or the 1280, the game is just going to keep looking better.
Yeah.
Okay. Pope, you want me to talk about Battle.net is Blizzard's client for downloading their games. So Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Diablo, StarCraft, Heroes of the Storm, all that is on Battle.net. Very good servers for PC. It was kind of a huge announcement when that came at the end of the speech because
Eric Hirschberg, right?
Eric Hirschberg was just like, it's going to be on the best platform for getting PC games. And to me, it's like, okay, I'm getting a PC game. Where do I go first? Steam. I didn't think, where do I go to get Blizzard games? Because that's all that's sold on Battle.net. And then when they're like, okay, we're going to bring out this guy from Blizzard, it's like, okay. Yep. This is huge. Battle.net is a really good client. Hopefully, this also the one thing that people were really afraid of about PC is it would be like hackers and stuff. I don't know if you guys see how Blizzard is treating Overwatch with hackers, but they basically, once you're banned from hacking an Overwatch, your account is permanently banned, and people have been getting banned again and again and again. Even like they buy Overwatch again and they're make a new account, but it was on the same PC, they still got banned even though they weren't hacking on it. Like, it is very punishing if you decide to hack in
bans.
Overwatch. They just straight hardware bans. Yep. So if that carries over to Destiny, that would be Destiny PC. That
sounds amazing, right?
That sounds amazing.
But it's not dedicated servers, though.
It's not dedicated servers. And at the same time, this is still Bungie's game. So,
I would have liked to have seen, honestly, I mean, man, it would have been great to see their servers take it.
Yeah, that's another thing is that's that's not coming would be dedicated servers, which, if it's being put on Battle.net, God, that would be amazing to be on Overwatch servers.
It'd be amazing.
But the game just, I guess, isn't built for that right now, or to take advantage of that. I would hope that they could take advantage of it in PvP at some point in time, but I digress. I did want to say one thing about the 60 FPS versus 30 FPS thing before we move too far away from it. Mm-hmm. If 60 FPS is that much of a deal breaker to you, then I personally feel like you need to start trying to make a home on PC, because that's where 60 FPS is always at your control.
Yep.
By how much you want to invest into the console and everything else.
How much money you have.
Yeah, basically by how much money you have. No, you'll still be able to play the game at 60 FPS, 1080p. You don't have to play at 4K, 144 FPS. You don't have to do that. 1080p, 60 FPS is going to be fine. And hell, even less. Hell, we've been enjoying Destiny at 30 FPS for the past 3 years on console. You can play the game at whatever state you basically desire to, or whatever state your wallet can pay for. At the same time, I do understand that there are a lot of games that come out on console that are 60 FPS. I'm not trying to make excuses or be a Bungie shill here, but those games aren't like Destiny with the amount of stuff that's going on in the world. You have these massive, or supposedly massive PvE environments. You have the raids that are going on. This could also be like a part of the networking thing. There's a hell of a lot of stuff out there, and you can't just say, oh, it's, other games are doing it, why can't this one? I don't know.
Still, I'm not gonna lie, it's disappointing to me.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I was really hoping for 60 on consoles, even if they had to reduce the quality of the visuals to do it, or reduce the resolution.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't get 4K, but we get 1080 60, and maybe it's 720 60 on a base PS4. Well, but it's 60 frames per second. Like, I would have really, really liked that, even more than dedicated servers. Dedicated servers always felt like a long shot to me, but 60 frames per second on the consoles, I was really hoping for that one.
Yeah, no, we all were. We've been spending the past 3 years going, we want 60 FPS.
We all want it.
Yeah, we all want it. Yeah. We all want it. And at the same time, if I've been enjoying Destiny at 30 FPS, I'm suddenly not completely crestfallen and going to, pack my bags and start looking for another job because on the console that I play on happens to not be 60 FPS. If I desire it, I'm going to play on PC. Yeah. There's one more point that I was going to make, but my brain's shattered from the past 48 hours.
I do want to say
the setups they had really nice.
I want to say also that on the PC side, it was 4K as well. And I looked at those monitors. I believe they cap at 60 FPS. And it was G-Sync. So we saw 4K at 60 with medium settings. And in the interview as well on PC Gamer, they said that it's not going to take a beefy card to run Destiny and make it look beautiful. So if you have, a 900 series GTX card or maybe even a 700 series, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to run it at medium settings at 1080p. This is not confirmed. This is not confirmed by anybody. But my guess is that it's going to be able to run it and do 60 FPS at 1080p. You don't have to run 4K. 4K is a luxury still at this point. So,
yeah, it's not real smart to be buying 4K monitors right now because shortly on the horizon, you're going to have HDR monitors capable. They're going to get cheaper.
Yeah.
It's not really smart to be buying them right now.
Yep.
4K TVs is kind of a different story. That's matured a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
The other thing is, I think a lot of people are like, oh, they haven't talked about Scorpio at all. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep their game locked at 30 FPS across all consoles, across all versions of it. Yeah. Because if one particular console is at 60 FPS, that is a very massive advantage in multiplayer game modes. In PvP, it is a huge advantage. It's easier to track targets. There's more information coming at you. 60 FPS is a very, very big advantage. So what really sucks is if some of these consoles, like the supposed new PlayStation that might be coming out, and plus a Scorpio, if they're capable of it, but they can't because, the other consoles that are out are kind of limiting it. And it's like, well, all right, that's something to be kind of pissed about.
Again, this just all reiterates the fact that for me, Bungie's message is that they're not looking into getting serious with esports with this game. 60 FPS, dedicated servers. Those things are kind of hallmarks right now for esport gaming. And they're looking at this game as a PvE focused game. So that's why I think a lot of it's that they're thinking that a peer-to-peer type of connection is going to be okay for a fun loot grind type of RPG experience, which we're used to in Destiny. It's just we won't have as well. Hopefully we get a smooth experience with PvP, but it might be marred with some peer-to-peer connection problems. Possibly. We don't know. We'll see.
All right. Is there
anything?
anything?
Twitter question, guys?
I think we should move to some Twitter questions, even though we could probably sit here and talk about everything that we played for the next 5 hours.
Well, we got a podcast next week.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not even. It's like oh, normally it's 7 days. It's going to be even less time before you guys get to hear your Destiny Community Podcast again.
Lucky you.
Lucky you guys. Oh
lucky me for editing audio.
We got Rabby V coming on next week.
Nice.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Be awesome.
Very exciting.
All right. Rezo Hove says, obviously there's a lot we don't know yet, but is there anything that was missing in your opinion or stuck out to you as disappointing? I'm going to say, let's take 30 frames per second off the table here.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll start.
Can we take dedicated servers 30
absolutely.
FPS at the table?
I'll start with the Ark Hunter subclass. Felt a little too close to Blade Dancer to me.
Well, we didn't get to play it, but just seeing
it, I was like, wait, that's like Blade Dancer 2.0.
Yeah.
You know?
Seeing Warlock pop this giant sword, start flinging fire everywhere, slamming down the ground. You're like, yeah. You got Captain America, Void, Titan over there. You're like, yeah. And then he will go.
No.
I'm sorry, pole dancer.
The pole dancer. Yes, the pole dancer. Imagine this. So first of all, we know that you can do we know that you can do like a Fist of Havoc smash with the staff. We know you can do that. We saw that. It has so many more movements than a Blade Dancer. A Blade Dancer is like slash. Oh, I missed my slash. The pole dancer has so many more movements. Plus, imagine putting that with your shade step. What if you had a shade stepping Blade Dancer? Can you imagine how amazing that would have been? That's going to be the best class in the game. So you guys just don't know
look,
yet.
I can't take it seriously when the community calls it a pole dancer.
Well, I have to call it a pole dancer.
Someone's going to be like, oh, they just pop pole dance. They're pole dancing right now.
No, I
just got pole dance.
Just popped Arc Stride. That doesn't roll off my tongue.
The audio cues like, and coming onto the stage now is Candy.
I would love that. Would be the best thing. They need to do that. No, you know what they should do? They should have the
Peaches
ghost like make a joke about it and be like, "What are you, a pole dancer or something?" And that would be
that would be
so
great.
Happy.
Yep.
Please put it in there somewhere. That would be amazing.
Or when you pop your pole dancer, like a cash just goes, rains down on top of you.
There you go.
Back to the original question. One disappointing thing for me. One thing I really loved the movement in Destiny 1. I loved Titan skating. I loved learning how to Warlock skate. Still not good at it, but I can do it. Hunter movement, with Bones AO is amazing. And seeing Titan skating not there was like, oh, okay. They're definitely slowing down the game mode or the game for PvP. But it's like, at what cost? That was so cool to just be a freight train. And I think they want you to be that inside your super or something, not all the time, which I completely understand. But at the same time, it's really, really, the movement abilities of Destiny 1 are just really cool and have such a good skill gap to them that you fulfill that part of a fantasy. And now I don't, I got a whole new game to learn how to, toy with. But
I personally think they're moving towards like, you want to be agile and stuff, go play a hunter, man. Like, you pick a class based on what you want to be now. Just like the Titan, you have the shield. Like, that's what you are. You're a shield. You're a beefy dude. You put down the Warlock. You can heal your allies, or you can strengthen your allies and yourself. And the Hunter, you want to zip and zap around and roll around on the floor. It's what you want to do.
I like that. I like one of the cutscenes. They showed a Titan running in front of looked like a hunter behind him, and he threw up his shield and was walking forward behind the shield, and then he kind of crouched a little bit so that the player behind him could ADS over his shoulder and was shooting over that kind of cooperative gameplay. that's gonna be fun.
That's very cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm really
shit.
happy about it.
Actually, I take that back. This could just be because it's an alpha build of the game and they haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. Because they did in the original Destiny, but I was getting kicked out of menus a bunch, like when loading into orbit.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like,
I was like, no.
I was trying to inspect my Dawnbreaker while we were loading into the match and stuff, and it kept kicking. I'm like, please,
not again.
No, that's the most disappointing thing of all, honestly.
Anybody got another one? Another disappointment?
I guess one thing that I kind of was a little about is now it's not killing people in the Crucible, it's defeating, and it counts your assists as well as your kills.
Oh, you didn't like that?
I'm not a fan of that. Like, I want to see my score at the end, like how many kills I got. If they break it down and they were like, this is your overall thing, but this is how many kills you got, then I'd be happy with it. But I really like knowing how much I did. Of course I can see in the kill feed, like, okay, I killed that guy, but I want to know out of that number how many I actually
It's
did
interesting.
kill.
I actually thought it was a really smart change because
a lot of people like it. I've always never.
I think you get in a match and somebody just happens to be the final kill all the time, who's either following you or just is in the right position all the time. You end up with like double-digit assists. I feel like you should get credited towards those kills, honestly.
Yeah.
Instead of just final kills counting. And another thing too, they had damage values also at the end. At the end of the match, it showed who did the most damage overall. That was cool.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I like the idea. I like the idea because it rewards people that are being cooperative and team shooting, and it in the moment it says, hey, you don't get that, like, oh, I didn't get the kill. Like, in the moment, it doesn't matter who got the kill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. In the moment,
as long as the team got it.
Yeah, the team got it. Both players get the same. And so on your point, Watts, I hear you, but I'm going to take a different position, and I'm going to say that I like that everything is cooperative. Like, in the end, you get to see who did the most. Just like in PvE, you can see who did the most damage against the boss, right? Well, in PvP, you're going to see that you're still going to get that top spot, Watts. You're still going to get that you got 30 damage points and your teammates got 15 or 16. But in the middle of the game, you're going to say, oh, man, you guys both defeated that enemy. Wow. Good job. And then move on.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I'd be happy if they had a section that says kills.
Yeah.
Like, how many
Maybe
of, how
if you
many
are
of that
to like a more
kills?
detailed screen.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Because I would like to know, okay, so I have an assist and kill score of like 30 and I got this amount of kills.
Yeah.
Like that, I would just like it to, I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
so
Overwatch does it as final blows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My biggest disappointment was, I think I mentioned this before, but they were talking about the European Dead Zone during the presentation, and they said that it's going to be 2 times bigger than any other Destiny.
And their largest. Yeah.
Right, the largest Destiny area. And they meant that to be like, wow, isn't that huge? But in the back of my head, I was like, that's all right. I would have rather seen 3 times larger or 4 times larger.
Have you played Breath of the Wild yet?
Yeah. One of the things I really loved about my initial Destiny experience was the exploratory thing. And I'm really looking forward to exploring all the new areas. And I hope that my fears are unfounded. I hope that there is tons to explore and reasons to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to ask a question, Tefty. Breath of the Wild, there's only one location, right?
Yeah, and it's massive.
All right, so
one map.
Massive.
So like a Skyrim type. All right, yes. I get it. It's massive. So
Skyrim is like this, and Breath of the Wild is like this. No joke.
All right, so I'm asking you as a person who doesn't play Breath of the Wild, right?
It's like the difference between your phone and Tefty's phone.
All right, so
like
make fun of.
Difference,
do not
like
make fun of my
between
iPhone
you
4.
And Tefty. It's just like you're down here. Tefty's just skyscraper. Ridiculous,
all right,
man.
You lost me with that one, Patrick. Because I have photographic evidence that I'm taller than Tefty. So here we go. I'm just trying to put it in perspective. If we took all of the patrol spaces in Destiny 1 and we added them together, would it be larger than Breath of the Wild?
No.
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 Really?
God, no.
Oh, Breath of the Wild is huge.
Pope.
It's a bit.
I'm gonna pull out my Switch here.
Like Skyrim is
boy.
huge. You've seen Skyrim, right?
I've played Skyrim, yeah.
Now imagine Skyrim with like 10 times the size of the map.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge.
Now, is it possible to get a game like Breath of the Wild in that massive? Isn't it like lower?
I don't know.
Like
The
graphics,
The Switch,
and stuff?
the Switch is pretty beefy and like state of the art hardware, isn't it, guys?
The environments in Destiny are so pretty.
They
The
are.
Destiny 2 environment.
Could
Did you
they
get
get-
Did you
could
see
they
the
get that?
images that the press sent out for
Yeah,
the
Oh,
environment?
yeah.
I
They're
just
really
finished,
nice.
Just finished transferring all of them over because
Oh
they're all
my
in
God.
individual folders.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
they're beautiful.
Comment creator woes.
Easy Now actually put out a video showing every single one of those images. So if you want to see the whole press kit,
There you go.
you can go
Yeah.
check out his
Did
channel.
he
to see it
did he
there.
include the headshots of all the Bungie employees too?
I really hope so. I really because D just
I
went.
hope so too.
It's like so weird seeing them like that. It's like,
I-
All right, we got a lot of questions, so I'm going to move on.
Well,
Yes.
hold on. I just want to underline this real quick. Not that it needs to be a massive size, because
Yeah.
if the game is filled with lots of intricacies and secrets and all that, then it's a rewarding experience. Just like Horizon Zero Dawn was full of a lot of stuff. Like we want lots of detail to dig into there and things that refresh on a weekly basis in the map
you want
itself.
detail. You want it to feel like it's living.
Uh-huh.
You want all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like any map. In that point, I don't want to be walking across the Mojave Desert and just,
You've
that
got a
doesn't.
hero.
Yeah, no, but that's not my point. The point is I don't need to see large expanses of nothingness.
No.
True.
Yeah, let's
So
move on.
if we cut out all the crap from Breath of the Wild, it would be the size of a Destiny map. Go ahead.
I can.
No, that's not
There's
true.
900
All right, well
then.
then.
Pope, I'll when we meet up next time, I'll bring you Breath of the Wild, and you'll go, oh.
Yeah.
That's all you will be able to say because right now, here's me.
Please let me move on.
I think
Yes, here's me, and
Can
then
we go to
it
the next
keeps
Twitter question?
zooming
We got
out,
like
zooming out, zooming out.
100,000 of these things.
Yes.
All right, Robbie says, how does the core gun combat feel in comparison to Destiny 1? Any
Great.
major changes to the way guns feel and sound?
Great.
They sound
Sound great.
They sound different. Feel like the same. It's solid gunplay. Feels good.
It feels good. There is definitely some aim assist. Like bullets have a little bit of magnetism to them, even on PC. I was using the Hunter exotic hand cannon, and it just felt great. It felt great to shoot just like Destiny does.
Yep. Should we do rapid fire a few of them? What'd you think? If we can rapid fire.
what was it? Nightshade? Nightshade was really cool. It was the pulse rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I dug that one. The what was it? The Omelon SMG was also really nice.
I like that one too. Yeah.
Oh, I will say that the sidearm is very different feeling
Yes.
from D2 or D1, and in a good
Yeah.
way. In it,
Weak, I thought.
I'm gonna say in a good way because I'm not a fan of the sidearm spam that's in Destiny 1 right now. Like it feels like if you're gonna use a sidearm, it's for this really close engagement thing, this fast pew pew.
Yeah, but even close engagement. I mean, it's such an early build. Like the balance is going to be completely different in the beta,
It's true.
and then in the
Different weapons
in the
too.
full game.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't see a use for sidearms in the current build.
I will say that PC, like, no bullet magnetism, no aim assist, none of that was there.
There was bullet magnetism, definitely.
Hitboxes were a little bit larger.
I was taking shots with the hand cannon that I didn't feel like I should have been connected that were connected.
It might have been
EVP too.
I feel like that's a hitbox thing and not a
Maybe.
aim assist thing. But all right.
Starkiller 421. I like just about everything except for the 4v4 Crucible. Do you guys think they'll expand it later on? I surely hope so.
I
love
hope so
4v4.
as well.
I love 4v4.
Yeah. I love 4v4, but I completely understand that, sometimes you have a bunch of friends and you want to go into big team battle and just, laugh. That is something that I hope they introduce later into the game because you can only take serious PvP so much.
Mm-hmm.
The number 6 too in Destiny is kind of important because it's the size of your clan for raids. It's the size of your clan for going into 6s for Crucible. It splits into 2 groups of 3 for other game modes in the Crucible. So it kind of messes up the clan system, and some people are a little upset that their clan of 6 can no longer play Crucible together.
I think that we need to see
more modes.
More modes, and like Patrick's saying, a big team, and I would like to see it 8v8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Josh G says, "How awesome was it for you all to finally meet after working together this long?"
That
It's awesome.
It was
Pretty
awesome.
Yeah.
It
It
was.
was
I wish
cool.
we would have had more time to like all go out to dinner just like us and kind of hang out. That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
But Guardian Con, we can do that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, we were all extremely busy, and it was a lot packed into a short period of time. But I really felt like it was a long time coming, and really cool to see you guys.
Yeah, this was my first time meeting all you guys, and
Yeah.
it was really fun. I really
Briar
enjoyed it.
confirmed tallest of all of us.
Yes, definitely tallest.
Pope confirmed shortest.
Shorter than Watts.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm
No, he's
Shorter
shorter
than
than
Watts.
Watts. Yeah.
You guys
Shorter
are
than
just
Watts.
He's
you
shorter
guys
than
are
Watts.
just absolutely.
Telling the truth.
You don't listen
Amazing,
to him.
right?
Do not listen to him.
I always tell one truth and always one lie.
Jeremiah Hart says, "Since the PC release won't be day one, do you think PC players will be able to participate in the beta?"
I imagine there will be a PC beta.
I
That's
think
just
there will be.
That's a huge advertising thing that they can't pass up.
How
Just by saying,
suspicious are you guys that the PC delayed release is a marketing tool?
You think?
I don't know. Like, the build that we played on PC it felt pretty good, and if the beta comes out at the same time as the PS4 and Xbox beta, like, how far behind do you think Vicarious Visions are on this thing that it needs to be delayed? I mean, that's a huge hit on PC. They're going to sell less copies of the PC version of this game because it's getting delayed. Like, could there be a marketing motivation behind that? Could there be a financial motivation behind that?
Think Sony paid him off?
Could be. Maybe.
Sony's like, well, we couldn't cap. You guys couldn't cap PC footage
No.
Yeah.
No one could.
because they're afraid
Maybe.
of it looking so delicious.
Drive away
Maybe.
console sales. That very well could be it. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't think it's a marketing ploy. I feel like they just want to make sure they don't deliver a buggy game because that
Bad
seems
port.
yeah, like that just happens with so many console ports, or they'll build it for consoles, make it over for PC, and then for the first 3 months of the game, it's absolutely shit for half of the people playing it because they have, this AMD driver and they can't get it to work with this piece of hardware. So, take the extra time, make sure everything works. That's what I'm hoping is happening.
It's a bummer because it's going to ruin a lot of the fun for the PC players. PC players who just don't play console games are going to come into a game where all the secrets are discovered and the raid is, completely
Discovered. No
a known
mystery.
quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no mystery left. All the exotics are going to be discovered. Like, they're not going to come in. They're not going to get that day one experience that is so crucial in Destiny, where you just walk into a world that is open to possibility and you just don't know anything about it, right?
Yeah.
They're going to lose out on that, and that's a real bummer for those players. A real bummer.
It is.
That's one of the things.
A lot of big streamers are really disappointed about it. They'd like to stream it day
Yeah.
one. They don't want to have to wait and then, just like you said, have it all spoiled, essentially.
Yeah. Kevin Jones says, with the PC port appearing to be smooth as silk, it appears the Destiny competitive scene will move to that platform. Any thoughts?
I don't. It depends what you mean by competitive scene. If you mean like one that's backed by a big corporation and not a player-created competitive scene, I think it'll be on console because why wouldn't it be on console? It's a PS like Sony thing that is there. If you're talking about like just players putting together competitive matches, then it will be on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think everyone's just gonna up and go to PC, especially when
No.
Destiny doesn't appear to be going in to be like a super competitive, like MLG esport type thing.
Right.
So yeah,
if that were to happen, I think it would be on PS4 just because of the PS4 tie-in, the Sony tie-in. If it were ever to go to like an MLG event and we were get private matches and custom matches, and like that was something that Bungie saw in Destiny's future, or Activision saw for Destiny's future.
Yeah.
I think that the marketing behind the PS4 would mean that is the competitive scene is on PS4 because that's what's going to be played on at tournaments.
Yeah, I see that, like, if we take a corporation out of it and look at what players want to play, I just don't know if I see a competitive scene forming around a game that the PC is going to have 60 FPS and keyboard and mouse, essentially. Aside from that, there's no other reason to play competitively on it, which obviously that's big, but when you have a game that has peer-to-peer connections, largely down the road, it shows that when the competitive players really start to dissect what happens, they tend to gravitate towards games that are going to have those solid connections that they don't have to worry about lag and stuff. So it's too early to say, but I don't think it's going to be as big for the competitive side as we would like to see, because Bungie doesn't want.
I'm sure there'll still be like FarCog tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I guess it depends on what you mean by competitive. If you mean, competitive players playing in local tournaments or smaller scale FarCog tournaments, then I think you could do it on any platform.
Yeah.
If you expect to see like a Call of Duty MLG style event, then I would suspect that the marketing and PlayStation deal would keep that on the PlayStation.
Yeah, it's just so many PC players are not used to a competitive peer-to-peer type of environment. Yeah. They'd much rather play Counter-Strike or Overwatch when it comes to that,
Well, this is the thing. PC already has very dominant FPS competitive games. Destiny, I don't know. Destiny, I don't think is going in the direction of being that like high, crazy $1 million event competitive game.
Yeah.
And
At least not now. Maybe later.
You can make a game more competitive and not want it to be an esport at the same time. You can make the spirit of competition feel strong, which is why they're moving it to 4v4. But that doesn't. It also doesn't indicate that they want it to be, the next Call of Duty in terms of esports, or Halo in terms of esports. So,
Tristan S says, with locked FPS on console, do you think the community might feel divided?
I feel like there needs to be a second part of that question. Divided in what way?
I'm going to go with he means people will feel pulled toward the PC because it'll offer 60 frames per second, but their friends list remains on the console.
Honestly, I'm sorry, I don't get this frame of mind at all. You have all your friends on a console and you're going to be like, yo, friends, bye. I'm going to go play 60 FPS. Screw you guys. I don't get it. Like, the game is going to be the same on console. It looks great. You're not playing like a Super Nintendo version of Destiny. Like, it looks amazing, and your friends are there. I
totally want a Super Nintendo version of Destiny now.
I mean, it would be amazing, but it's like, I don't understand why you would just leave your friends and be like, okay, I'm gonna give up all my friends and then go over to PC where none of my friends are and start a whole new life for those 60 frames.
Yeah, I don't get it. Pope?
Oh, you're muted. And sorry, I was typing in chat. You're welcome, Patrick. And I think that the content exclusivity for PlayStation is going to keep a lot of people that those 30 frames don't matter that much. I want to see the stuff when it's coming out fresh and new. Think about all those Xbox players that didn't get Hawkmoon. And when they did get it, they got a crappy version of it, right? I don't want to experience that. I just don't. So I'm going to stay on PlayStation and I'm going to get the content first. If exclusivity moves away and I get it on and it's available, I'm going to go where the content is. That's what I'm saying.
So I think the divide might come from our side of things, the content creators, if anything.
Yeah.
Because you, like Tefty and Briar, you guys have continually said we want to present the best looking version of the game, whether it be on YouTube or on Twitch. And I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for those streamers and content creators where their community has a huge impact on them, if they're playing with them all the time and everything, they're still going to play on the consoles and everything. They will go.
I'll be playing on the PS4 because that's where my friends list is.
Yeah.
I'll be playing on the PC because it's going to look better and I can make new friends. And I'm probably going to end up just skipping the Xbox version this time around.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because it's just going to be too much to maintain 3 sets of characters.
Exactly.
Unless I do, before I was talking about doing just one character on each console, I could do that.
Yeah,
because that Scorpio does look cool, man. I want a Scorpio and. Fuck
you
it,
can have one character on Xbox, just get them to a good light and be like, I can play with
Warlock
people now.
up on there, see what happens.
Dawnblade. OG Dawnblade. Day one Dawnblade.
Oh, day one Dawnblade.
I think that's my opinion on it. And if we're hearing a lot about it, like, 60 FPS is really important, you might look at who's, saying why it's so important at the same time, because that could be a person who may be motivated by creating content. Or they just really, really care about 60 FPS.
Or they're in the competitive scene.
PC. Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, Destiny is a looter shooter. And we love looting. And we love shooting things. And we love getting new exotics and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like they're making the best version that they can of Destiny 2 as a looter shooter first. Which makes me excited.
And I'm so excited for all that content. And it kind of makes me mad when people are just like yelling about frames. And I'm like, guys, but they just announced all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
And if you want 60 FPS, it's there on PC.
Exactly.
When I was playing the PlayStation 4 version, whether it be PvP or a strike or whatever I was doing, it wasn't entering my mind that I was playing 30 frames per second. The only time I really thought about it was when I walked over to the PC and it was such a stunning difference.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We should reiterate again, the PS4 Pro 4K looked phenomenal.
All the gameplay that you're seeing is from that. So if you think that it looks good, then
and keep in mind also, it's gone through a capture card, been bit crunched, and then presented on YouTube with even more bit crunching. So when you see it, if you get a 4K monitor in a PS4 Pro and you play it, you're going to be like, damn, this looks nice. It feels good.
Damn, this looks good.
Yeah.
John Michael Mueller says, Holtzmann, how do the throwing knives feel?
See, the best moment when they were showing all the footage during the reveal was I saw a throwing knife and I'm like, I'm good. Game's good. Print it, ship it. You don't need anything else. You got throwing knives. So I was really happy to see that. Plus, there was a talent that made him explode, which someone in my chat, I can't remember who it was like, I really want there to be a thing that causes enemies to explode when they're hit by a throwing knife. And I'm like, well, you got it, man. I was like, oh no, I don't think that'll be there. But hey, dude, you got your wish. So they're selling it to at least 2 people. That's good enough.
Michael Faraga says, ask Holtz how he liked the alpha. The alpha.
Yes, I understand what everyone is saying here.
Or implying?
I still consider our bet to be a public alpha where everyone listening to the podcast right now at home could go boot up their console and play it.
The bet was that we would play an alpha on that date.
I took we as the community, the entire community. Not
there was people there. There were content creators. There was community people.
That's
there
true.
was press. We were represented there.
Sitting at home, able to play it.
That's called public. Did he say it was a public alpha?
Oh my goodness!
I heard. I remember there being and you can play it right now. Mic drop. That is in reference to everyone at home, not just.
You know what? I just can't deal with this. He might as well have been a warlock. I mean, he's dodging. I mean, we've got clips. I've got people in chat that have clipped you saying alpha over 3 times this episode alone.
Yeah, no, I said alpha. All right. I consider an alpha.
It's all right. It's all right, Kate 6. Don't worry. It's all right, Kate. Not a big deal.
It's on her bet.
All I know, and the chat knows, and everybody knows, the whole world knows that I won. But let's go ahead. Go ahead. We'll just have it.
Dakota Wise says, any change to the player fantasy? Do Titans feel like walking tanks? Hunters like acrobats of death? And warlocks like floating butterflies?
Oh, there's a lot of on box.
I think they've made strides in that direction for sure. And I'm really excited to see the other subclasses and how they work with all of these new abilities that, well, you know, the dodge roll and the shield and the healing thing. I'm excited to see what kind of skill trees come to interact with those being in the game. So I think they've definitely made strides towards, like, you play this because this is your play style.
Yeah.
I think so.
Milk Nadir says, how do you think having power weapons instead of both special and heavy affect the PvE endgame?
PvE, maybe it was just because it was a test build, but I felt like the heavy drops were in good balance. Yeah. I didn't feel like I constantly had heavy. I don't know if you were going to get heavy ammo synthesis. I didn't see that in the inventory.
Yeah, we couldn't access our inventory.
There was no inventory to access.
Yeah. But I did see them dropping from people, and you know, I got to shoot and use them, and they felt powerful in
Yeah.
You know, but I felt like I wanted to save them sometimes for bosses in the shield sync. So I think they're doing their job.
Yeah.
We also have to explore what the second primary slot that does enable, you know, kind of elemental damage, how that's going to work in PvE, and you know, are we going to be doing more damage to PvE enemies with our elemental primary as opposed to our kinetic? Or are we just going to be wasted through shields and switching weapons? Or
I noticed
we don't really know how any of that plays out right now.
So when I was playing the strike, I noticed that when I equipped my my elemental and then burnt an enemy with a solar shield, like it mowed through that shield much quicker, or it felt like like there was a centurion there, and that centurion shield just got blitzed by that primary with solar damage, and it looked cool. Like the animation was interesting and different from what we're used to right now.
So that could be fun, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be the same as getting max DPS in Destiny 1, but I assume that there will be ways to max your DPS in Destiny 2. We just have to explore what those are.
Yeah, with the new system.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Goodbite says, I'd really like to know how many times Pope Bear heard any comments about falling out of his chair and Taco Bell.
So we should have gone to Taco Bell, actually.
So the day
I tried to get him. All I wanted was a picture of Pope walking out of Taco Bell with a bag of food. I just wanted to post that picture and make the internet explode. I couldn't make him do it.
I mean, I had Bungie guys just cracking jokes at me all day about, you know, it's great that they watch the podcast and they're you know, they know the inside jokes, because as I was walking around, they're like, you know, I went to go sit down to there were lowered seats, right, to where you were playing the missions, and I was getting ready to sit down, and one of the guys one of the Bungie guys walked over and goes, hey, can I help you? I don't want you to fall. and then he looked at me like, and I'm like, oh man.
That's awesome.
And Cosmo tweeted at me that, you know, told me that he was gonna cater the whole thing was gonna be catered by Taco Bell in honor of me, and I mean, it was fun. This community is amazing. They've got
it is.
You know, I really appreciate it. It's so much fun. I don't take it to heart. If you troll on the internet for as long as I have in my life, you've got to expect to get it back. So I appreciate all the love. It means a lot to me. It's actually honestly awesome. So yeah, it was cool.
Danny J says, do the exotic weapons feel like exotics?
Right, we don't really know right now. Like they were definitely cool. The SMG felt like an SM, like all the other SMGs. The hand cannon felt like a hand cannon with explosive rounds. The only one that truly felt exotic, in my opinion, was the Gatling gun, because like, oh, this is definitely different. This is cool. We couldn't inspect the weapons. We couldn't see if there were skill trees or not skill trees, but just, you know, nodes to fill out on them. You know, we don't know enough about the weapons to really start going, yeah, this is a great vision for exotics yet. This was just a taste. So
it's really hard to tell because of what the exotics did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like for example, the submachine gun, it had to where when you take arc damage, the gun does more damage.
Yeah.
Very hard to do in PvP to like
I was
test
on the
that
receiving
out.
end. I was on the receiving
really?
end of that, and it
Really?
hurt a lot because I had the gun equipped and I started shooting someone who had it, and I guess it just built up because I was dead almost. I was dead very quick.
That's really cool though. That's really cool.
But once we know a little bit more, it's cool. Right now, it's like getting the first curse, and it's entirely unupgraded, and you're like, oh yeah, this is cool. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, time will tell on this one.
Yeah.
David Penny says, do you think Bungie have hurt the sales of the game with no 60 frames per second on console and no dedicated servers? All right, this is the last question I'll ask about 60 frames per second or dedicated servers.
No.
You think it hurts the sales?
No.
With 500,000 people watching that reveal stream, and the what Activision has said in the past about player engagement in Destiny 1, I honestly think this may be one of, if not the best-selling video game that we've ever seen.
I agree that this is going to break records. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of the game. I think they've positioned this game to break records.
Yeah. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
Fluffy Fingers MD, on a scale from 1 to hilt tilt, how mad are you about the lack of beards?
Is there a lack of beards?
We didn't see players.
We don't know.
Didn't see any faces.
We don't know.
They didn't show character
don't know.
customization. We didn't get to make a character,
No.
so we don't know until probably E3 when they're going to drop the
That's going to be
beta.
released. That's going to be released at E3 for sure. They have to. Beards are going to be a big thing. It's going to be a comic relief joke during one of the streams, and the guy's going to like grow a bearded. I forget his name. The Bungie dev that has the braids that go all the way down. Sage, that's right, man. I bet you one of them's going to have to be Sage's beard, and it just it's going to have to be.
Sparty for you says, is Amanda Holiday even sexier to all of you now that you have seen her flying skills?
I thought you were gonna say now you've seen her as a child. I was like,
Oh,
Sparty,
wow.
Sparty.
Wow.
Now I don't even want to. I just want to move on off of this question because
Good. I'm over here sipping. Oh my God, there's coffee in this.
I mean, we've seen her as a child, so now, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Jeremy Keklo says,
I just realized why all of when I was in middle school, high school, or whatever, you go over to the parents' house to go on a date with the girlfriend, and they sit you down and show you all the pictures of her as she's a child. Suddenly realized why they do that.
Oh, so you don't think of them in a sexual way, right?
Yeah,
You're like, oh, how
this is her
cute!
as
What a
kid.
cute
Remember when
baby!
she was a kid, and you're like, oh, yeah, all right, man.
Parenting. My God.
It's parenting
Jeremy
101.
Keklo says, so the Sunshot perk says explode into solar damage. Do you think we will get other elements for Firefly in Destiny 2?
No indication of other elements. I think Firefly is a safe bet. I think I saw a weapon with Grenadier on it, so I imagine there's going to be some.
I saw Hot Swap as well.
Yeah. So I imagine that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Britton Zan says, what was the one or two main things they didn't share in the presentation that surprised you or you were happy to see with the hands-on?
Wall climbing.
The vaulting.
Yeah, vaulting up on a corner, because I know all the warlocks and titans out there, when they can't jump up, they jump across at something and then they hit the edge of it and they just have to slowly go down.
Slowly falling.
Yeah, and now it's just whoop. You
can vault.
Up. So
I
good.
couldn't make it happen though. Could you guys tell? Did you have to hit the jump button to activate it, or did
it automatically does it?
It was automatically.
So they built in a crutch for warlocks.
Yep.
Crutch.
Come on, man. That just feels good for any character. Like it felt so weird.
No, it's good. I had a few moments.
It doesn't matter if you're a hunter or a titan. Like you did bounce off of stones and just start going the opposite direction. Like,
yeah.
There's some improvements.
Yeah.
In that area.
I had a moment on the Midtown map, and I started jumping a little too early on my hunter to jump on top of this little thing, and I hit the edge, and it just jumped up. I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's nice. Really quick, so it's not like one of those like really long, slow animations where you're like,
I feel like there might be an internal cooldown. I feel like there might be an internal cooldown because I did it and then I tried to do it again and I couldn't do it for like another 3 seconds or so, and then I could finally do it again. So I don't know.
Yeah,
that was a good answer though. Anybody else got another one of those? Something that wasn't in the presentation that surprised you and you're happy to see?
That the power weapon ammo is only picked up by one person and can't be picked up by the entire team.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I like the call outs for that too. The way
I like
picked it up and where.
I like to see that the warlock class ability could stack. So if you had 2 warlocks, you could.
I didn't really like how we figured that out though.
We didn't. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're just not.
We're good. No more sprint lock.
Oh, was there no more sprint lock? I didn't realize that.
I didn't even notice.
You can slide and then start sprinting again and slide, start sprinting.
Oh, good. Oh my god, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
The fact that they made that an artifact, I could have sworn it was a bug for the first 2 years of Destiny.
Yeah.
I know. I thought it was a bug too.
I remember them saying they fixed it in one of their bug patches.
and they're like, now it works as intended.
Now it's an artifact.
Yeah.
Changed. Yeah. I'm sorry. SWAT said, "Is this Destiny 2 or Destiny 1.7?"
It's Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2. Like Destiny 2. He goes on to say 60 frames per second, no dedicated servers. Let me tell you, this really does feel like moving on from Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2, or from Halo to Halo 2. It builds, it improves, it looks nicer, it plays nicer.
Yep.
I'll drink that Kool-Aid and I'll just say it in a different way. I'll be 100% behind you guys if the open world spaces and those the dungeons and side missions and all that stuff is what I'm hoping it will be. Then I'm right in there.
Yep.
It's a good modifier there.
Yeah. Again, you got to remember that what they showed us was, hey, we're used to Destiny right now. Let's show all these great new revamps to Destiny 1, 2, Destiny 2, and let's hold on to these brand new things that we are not showing you yet until E3. Because they have to have something for E3, guys.
They got to have something for the beta.
Yeah.
We've got a while to go yet.
Yeah.
If you look at what they did with this strike and the scale of this strike, and then imagine a similar difference from Destiny 1 strikes to this new strike, and then you look at Destiny 1 raids and go to Destiny 2 raids, I got pretty high expectations for the first raid right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I think
as soon as we know when that date is, by the way, Pope, take the day off. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So I think a good thing to remember Valsaric, how long that took in vanilla Destiny? Like just how long it was like 30 minutes or so. And how on the goal is now. It's like 30 minutes. This strike took about that time. Our first time playing through it with like probably underpowered characters and everything. So yeah, like this felt like a long strike, but it wasn't like you were doing something the entire time. You weren't just getting from point A to point B or getting to point A and killing stuff the entire time. It was like you were killing stuff along the way. It still felt like you were part of a world, not a box canyon.
Yeah.
And it was varied. Like each part of it was varied. Like there's a little bit of jumping puzzle. There's a little bit of fighting the Vex. There's a little bit of fighting the Cabal.
Yep.
Yep.
Nerds, fight me. Now that you've played the PC version, any games you'd recommend to begin getting used to mouse and keyboard for D2?
Overwatch.
Overwatch is a good one. Tefty, you said Doom.
So yesterday. If you want to do competitive, Overwatch is great. If you want to start if you don't want to be in a competitive environment and feel like you can just work on your aim via AI, Doom 2016 is great. Fantastic. Because it forces
you can even set your key bindings up.
Yep.
To match what the Destiny key bindings.
You can.
Yeah.
I will change the hell out of all my key bindings.
Change mine.
I have weird key bindings.
I thought they were weird.
People judge
Destiny.
me.
I kept having to look at the card. They had a card in front of the keyboard, and I kept having to look because.
Well, you want your melee on your mouse. Honestly, that's like the biggest.
Yeah,
thing,
that's what I have. In Overwatch, I have my melee on my side mouse button.
Yeah. But again, if you want to just start getting used, let's say you haven't played PC games in like years, 10 years plus, or never, ever. A good one really is Doom because it's very fast paced, and Destiny will be slower. So once you drop down to a slower paced game, you're going to feel like you have a little bit more of an edge on that.
A good classic is always Half-Life, the Half-Life series, Half-Life 1 and then Half-Life 2. Half-Life 1's very old, so I wouldn't recommend it. Half-Life 2, it can be found for so cheap. So
did they redo? Isn't there somebody who made like a new version of Half-Life 1?
The
Black
Mesa.
Yeah.
Black Mesa. I only know that because I was for 2 weeks a part of that mod back in the back in the very infancies of it.
Nicholas Carter says, "Do you think Scorpio will run at a?" I said I wouldn't do any more 60 frames per second.
No, please.
And it won't either. It won't either. So
Scorpio's not going to do it. Yeah. Doom Sal said, "Predictions on what the new raid will be like. The same,
huge,
easier, or harder?"
Big. Huge,
it's going to
amazing.
be. I feel like it's going to be expansive, enormous, and Gary's going to be 20 billion feet tall, and he's going to be holding the speaker in his hand, and.
We're going inside Gary, and it ain't going to be pretty in there.
Oh, snap. I like
that. Satan Manning. I love that name, Satan Manning. Since the speaker is missing, do you think that means he played a role in the Cabal attack?
Yes.
Dude is super shady.
Obviously. They're like, the speaker's gone. We can't find him. That's because he's in cahoots.
He is in cahoots. Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Cabal. They got their intel on him. They knew this guy was important to us. Maybe he's one of the keys to like shutting down the light of the Traveler.
Right. I was gonna say the Traveler.
That's why they stole him.
I mean, that's pretty good, but like he's a bad dude.
No, he's in cahoots, Patrick.
He's in cahoots.
Okay.
He is Gary. That's Gary.
He is Gary.
That's why we never.
Gary takes his like mask off, and there's another speaker mask underneath.
It's the speaker inside a mech suit.
I mean, who else would but know better how to control the light, right? Because they throw on that device that locks down the Traveler. You know, they're like the what's the low jack for the Traveler? They throw that on him.
They boot the Traveler.
Yeah.
Alan says, "How powerful are the abilities compared to Destiny 1? Are my days of tossing trip mine, throwing knife, then one tapping with a hand cannon over?"
I don't know about like doing the throwing knife combo. But like ability damage as a whole is reduced. Like melee, it takes 3 melees to kill someone now from full health. Grenades, none of them one hit. At least on the initial. I'm sure if you stay in the lightning grenade for the entire duration, you're gonna die for it. Abilities there are to kind of supplement the gunplay.
Mm-hmm.
And gunplay is going to be the primary way that you're going to be killing people for the most part. And then you have these abilities that you can use, when
supers even feel less powerful in PvP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all supers, you have to supers cannot one hit other supers. They all 2-tap them.
Caveat all this by saying that this
unless
is
you're a golden
very
gun.
Early build.
I think Golden Gun was still taking 2.
I got smashed once with a.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah, and then golden.
This isn't a very early build. All of this stuff could change by the alpha. And by this is all just balancing.
Yeah.
Lord Garth Vader. Was there any confirmation? This is beards again. We didn't see any beards. No. Trigger Dawnblade said, "How is the sprint in Destiny 2? Is there a meter to indicate when you can run again?"
There's no sprint lock.
There's no sprint lock, so there you go.
Boom.
Paul Pasagno said, "If you were able, which of the 2 new subclasses would you have liked to try out? Sentinel or Arc Strider?"
Arc Strider.
Sentinel.
Yeah,
I mean, even though I'm a diehard hunter, I'm gonna say Sentinel because
you guys are gonna just continue.
I can't be pole dancing right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm off the clock.
that kind of a marriage.
Come on, they have classes for it. It's like exercise now.
That is stripper training, sir.
I'm sorry. What person doesn't want to be Captain America? I mean, let's be real.
I don't really like.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Michael Robinson says, I'd like to hear one thing each of you didn't like about what was revealed. We already kind of did this, so I'm going to move on.
Yeah, we did.
Zoom Eddie says, should future Scorpio players be concerned about Bungie's hush-hush attitude toward it during the reveal? I don't think so. I think it's just tied to the PlayStation for marketing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it, Zuma.
Yeah, I agree.
Gator says, what are your thoughts on why they didn't allude to a more recent beta since the invited streamers were able to play so early before launch? I think it's because they want one more thing to bring to E3. I think that'll be their E3 thing.
Yep.
Got to keep the breadcrumbs and hype train rolling, so to speak.
And if anything we've learned about Deej and Bungie is they are masters of the hype train.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
The build that we played is very limited. You couldn't load this build up on an open public beta. It would be impossible.
No.
Yeah.
You don't have any inventory. You can't inspect anything.
You
you
can't make
can't do anything. Yeah.
Each station that we played at, we didn't have access to the director. We couldn't go around. It's like, okay, I want to go here now. Okay, no, this is how you select the strike. It was when you hit director, it just started the activity that station was on.
Yeah. You also couldn't go to orbit during a PvP match.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very limited.
Yep.
Ray Whitelaw says, it was almost like it was an alpha. Ray Whitelaw says, where 0 tacos is terrible and 10 tacos is incredible, how many tacos out of 10 would you give the overall experience at the reveal stream?
All the tacos?
Yeah, all the tacos.
All the tacos.
I'd give all the tacos.
The full taco truck.
The full enchilada, so to speak.
The way that the Bungie employees were just kind of hanging about, and you could just walk up and talk to them about really specific stuff.
Yep.
The way Morla was just hanging out.
Yep.
Hope you had lunch with her.
Yeah, man, it was great.
Being in the crowd and just watching the reveal stream live, waiting in line and just talking to all the Destiny, community content creators, just waiting in line outside was amazing. The whole day was pretty fun.
Well, the whole day was amazing.
One of the things is that and I don't think people knew it, but I saw Pete Parsons walking around talking to people, answering questions, and he was walking around through. And if you were just a fan, you wouldn't know who he was. But I just the CEO of Bungie's just walking around helping people out. It was all hands on deck. It was cool.
Yeah. I got to talk to Bernie Burns from Rooster Teeth for a couple minutes, which was awesome.
Yeah.
It's one of the
cool. It was a really cool environment.
One of my idols, basically. I just got to briefly chat with him.
It's cool. I was playing the strike when we first started, and Luke Smith walked up to me and was like, "How you liking it?" It's great. And then I was like, I don't know how to drop.
It's terrible. Oh shit, it's great.
And then I told him I didn't know how to drop my class ability, and he was like, "Oh, right. There's no card in front of you to show you how to do that." So.
Yeah.
That is something. That class ability was kind of weird. That you got to hold down the button to do it.
It was just weird because we didn't know.
I had it mapped to Puppeteer, and it was actually really cool because I could push down on my right thumbstick. It made it really awesome to use.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So
this is the time to get a scuff, guys, because of all these new things that you need to press circle for.
Bind one of those paddles to circle, not
there
square, guys, because
there
you go. A lot.
Watch, this brings up a good point. Now I'm buying a 4K monitor for my PlayStation 4. I got to buy a Predator monitor for my PC, a 1080 Ti. I got to buy a Scuff too, and I got to buy a Razer keyboard and mouse because they're going to be
they're Destiny
branded,
and they're probably going to be cool.
Yep.
I think they're going to need to pick up a 4th job, guys.
We'll just start monetizing the podcast. There we go.
Hey, Briar, Dato's in chat, so I think this is a good time to talk about what we saw during the reveal stream at the beginning. There was a quick shot of a specific weapon, wasn't there?
Oh, dubious volley?
Yes, wasn't there? Yeah.
Oh, the
dubious volley, yeah.
Let's talk about the dubious volley, and
we saw it. Sure it was there.
We saw it. It was definitely there.
I'm sure Dato is going to put out a video about it for sure. I mean, honestly, he's going to. So
I think more console might have already.
No, if you wanna get some questions going to Dado about the Dubious Valleys, if you want to hear a video about the Dubious Valley from Dado, spam the chat with all Tefty bells right now.
Yeah, and
we need to see the Tefty bells.
Yeah, I really want to know if it's going to work with the Warpath or not, or compete against the Warpath.
We need to hear specific answers as to is it going to be there, or is this?
Is it good for the raid, Dado? Is it good DPS on the raid boss?
Is this better than? Is this going to be better than the Galahorn?
Did I use that or a sniper in my heavy slot? What does more damage?
Okay, we've run this one into the ground.
Is it an elemental damage?
All right, Alan says, "What's up with the speaker and the fact that we have a ghost?"
Yeah, what's up with that?
Okay, here's my theory. Here's my theory. My theory is that what we got to see was right before Gary flips the switch on the chastity belt, and then the Traveler is fully shut down, and then we go through like a learning process.
Chastity belt.
somebody said that in chat. I thought it was hilarious.
That's great. That's so awesome.
Because you have your abilities in this beginning mission, right? Obviously, we have to gain them and learn them again or something, or they're taking away our light. So I imagine the lights go out like at 5% into the campaign, and then the journey is regaining the light and getting all these abilities, you know?
Well, so in the trailer, they did say you had Zavala. I believe he was talking to, I guess, us. And he said, if the light can find you, Guardian, then maybe there's some hope for all of us. So it seems like we're like just the best Guardian. And
Clearly.
the light's like, we need to be back with you. And we get a little bit of
I'm the best Guardian.
I'm sorry, it's just one of us. It's not all of us. It can't.
It's not the pole dancers. Sorry.
It's not the
pole dancers aren't allowed. That's why it looks a lot like a blade dancer, because they've got to
They have to get certified for that, don't they?
Yes. Otherwise, they could hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Twisted Fate says, meeting for the first time, hugs or handshakes?
Hugs.
Both.
I went in for the handshake every time, and everybody just pulled me in for the hug and looked at me like I was an asshole.
if it was someone that I was like, if it was like a company or something, I was like, hey, yada yada, the podcast sponsorship is like handshake, but everyone else hugs.
That's why you're not getting the sponsors,
okay.
Patrick.
That clearly must
just
be the reason.
Just walk up to the Razor guys and be like, come here. How about those
I like them keyboards.
Get on that thing like a Labrador.
There you go.
Right.
Bubba J77 says, be honest, when they mentioned the beta, how nervous were you that they were going to say, and you can play it now?
I was nervous when he was on stage.
I was waiting for the date. I was waiting for them to be like, and that's going to be in your hands on.
Well, they said it in a way, too. They were like, these guys in the odds are about to go play it. And for you guys right now,
at home,
yeah, I was
play it now
exactly.
There's a pause, and then everyone's like,
I'm not gonna lie, I brought my PlayStation just in case.
Hey, one thing that we haven't talked about, it's a question that's come up in chat, is the what Lucky and Buttwipe did with the stream. Their live
that was
stream.
awesome. Really cool.
Oh, it was so good.
I thought, besides for the fact that the blacklight was giving me like a third eye on my forehead and just shining off this golden dome here, I thought the whole thing was awesome, man. They were going around. They had like some 6,000 people watching them.
Yeah,
and
everybody must have been watching, because every time you like cross by them or you talk to them, you'd start getting tweets. I just saw you on Lucky Butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to see them just come in, and then you see the chat be like, what's? I'm like, oh, hi, yes, this is really cool.
That was really that was innovative. It was really brilliant of them.
It was awesome.
Like, they had a really cool setup doing it, and job to those guys, man.
It was great.
Kudos to them.
Other guys were mad because there was no streamer solution at this event. Lucky and Buttwipe made their own streamer solution. You know,
they did.
And that was cool.
And it was really like the equipment they had. I'd love to see what they had. They had this. They had a flashlight around their phone that they were using, and an external battery pack. And it got a
selfie stick and the microphone.
A selfie stick. I mean, and the two of them tag teaming it seemed to be really, really entertaining.
Yeah, it's great.
It was cool. Evan Meyer says, "What are your thoughts over some people saying Destiny 2 looks exactly like Destiny or Destiny 1 DLC?"
It's a sequel. What do you expect?
A sequel.
I don't get that thought. I don't see where you're coming
I'm
from.
literally gonna ban people that say that in my chat. Like, I'm just done. I can't. I don't want to yell at people, so I'm just gonna have to ban them.
Looks like the
It's only
same
option.
game.
It's like Destiny. Oh, you mean Destiny 2 looks like Destiny? Oh my God, it's crazy.
Halo 2 looks like Halo 1. Like every World of Warcraft expansion looked really similar. It's almost like they're built using the same engine and the same game world. If you suddenly wanted it to turn to Borderlands, I'm sorry, but I feel like people are looking for something to hate sometimes, or they only know how to. I feel like there are some people out there that just only enjoy trying to talk down on other people's enjoyments. And that's one of those situations. And it's you'll see entire YouTube channels just devoted to, showing all the problems with like a specific game or, just stuff like that. And I'm like, don't focus on anything positive about the game, please. It's, I don't know. Some stuff.
I think people were really looking forward to maybe new races or new worlds that they could, play with. But I think that the storyline of Destiny is so rich, and we haven't even scratched the surface. Tell me something cool about the Cabal that we've played, other than what limited we know. There's a lot to be explored there, and I'm really excited for that. So in a way, it is like diving into a new.
There's a lot of new Cabal
new enemies
too, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right, last question for the night, and then we can all go to bed.
Okay.
Or start streaming.
Or
make a video.
Well, we're not going to bed. Actually, I think Tefty's just.
I'll be streaming.
Just
right
after.
Keep going. Yeah. Darth Gabri says, "So, who's got the nicest butt in the Destiny community?"
I felt many butts there. Gonna have to say, it's a tie between Dr. Lupo and Real Crafty.
There you go.
And I don't know. Every time Lano walked through the room, I just saw everybody go.
That's just because he's short. That's just because
they were just looking at his head.
Yeah.
You just had to shake it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Dr. Lupo. I can't. And mainly because it was just not, it wasn't one way. Like his appreciation of other butts was there as well.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We had very many Twitter questions. I tried to omit as many repeats as I could. And I think they're still coming in. I think since we've done the podcast, I think we've gotten like 100 more. So sorry.
There's no way we could get through all these Twitter questions. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Sorry we had to delay it by a day, but I think it made for a better show. We will see you all next week at the normal time for episode number 34. Who's our guest next week again?
We are going to be with Robbie V.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be fun.
Awesome.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you want to find me, I am at Holtzmann_YT on Twitter.
I'm at TheBriarRabbit on Twitter. You can find me there tweeting about all sorts of dumb stuff. You can find me streaming, also doing dumb stuff over there. If you look for Briar Rabbit or posting YouTube videos, just look for Briar Rabbit.
I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. Catch the streams I do right here or twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. Usually start at 6 p.m. Pacific time, right around there. And I have a YouTube channel as well that gets love every now and then. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Yeah. That's how it is.
That's how it is.
I'm Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch doing Destiny 2 stuff right now at Miss 5000 Watts.
And this has been Pope Bear, and you can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear or, hanging out in these guys' channel. And before we get off, I want to talk about a couple things that are coming up. One is that the Guardian Con info blast, just the final one came out. We're going to link it in chat. Make sure you guys take a look. There's 2 things that are involving us that are on there. Three things, actually. We're going to be on the streams leading up to Guardian Con. We'll be on the Wednesday before Guardian Con, streaming a good chunk of time, a 4-hour block of time, raising money for it. We're also going to be in the 2 theaters. This is the official announcement. We're going to be in the main theater as well as a Twitch, a podcast theater and a Twitch talk show theater, both at 3:00 on the 2 days. So, 3:00 rolls around at Guardian Con. Know you're going to be able to find us in one of the 2 theaters. We're going to be doing either a live show with some really great guests. I don't want to spoil it yet, and then we're also going to do in the Twitch Talk Show Theater, we're going to do a Q&A, and I have also some really cool guests for that and more to come on that. But we are excited, and make sure you go check out that Guardian Con info blast. And if you haven't bought a ticket, make sure you do. It is going to be fun. They have a ton of stuff happening, and just by the looks of it, we have musical performances. We have just a PvP event. You know, it's going to be fun. Make sure you plan on either going or watching the stream.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you all next week. We gotta go stream and make videos. Bye, everyone.
Bye.